Check, check. Is anybody there? Hello, anybody waiting? This is new for me. The streaming service that I'm using, StreamYard, is new, so I don't know if it's working or not. Give me a sign, anybody. I can see there are two people here. Who's here? I see a comment from Ms. Felony Strutter, but that was a couple of hours ago. Rat Rock from New Jersey, the first comment. Hello. 500 years. Ha. I hope that's a reference to the inside joke that Burju and I had when I was in Turkey last week about everything in Turkey being 500 years old. Am I right, Rat Rock? Are you making a reference to that? Mike Pratt. Oh, my night is complete. Please, Rat Rock, tell me that was a reference to what I was making a reference to last week. That means that you're paying attention. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, everything in Turkey is 500 years minimum. Well, wait, there are a couple of people here. I see more people here. I don't know why I can't see who's here unless people are making comments. It shows me how many people are here, but not who. And pardon the noise. Can you hear the gunshots outside? Can you hear that? Jive Turkey. Not once. Actually, I didn't even think of that once. Jive Turkey. That's like a 70s thing, right? That's like Cheech and Chong or uh, Starsky and Hutch, Cagney and Lacey. What are some other duos? What is Jive Turkey? It's a uh, um, what is that? What is Jive Turkey? Cheech and Chong, right? Yeah. I used to love Cheech and Chong. There used to be and still is, I guess, a TV station in Toronto called City TV. And in the 80s, it was great. 90s, it was great too. I think now it's owned by a big media conglomerate. But back then, it was an independent station. And they used to show, they called them late great movies. And they used to often show Cheech and Chong movies, especially Cheech and Chong's next movie and Up in Smoke. I feel like those were on all the time. A lot of turkey jokes. Dallas, hello, Dallas is making a joke about. I know that's a Les Nessman, WKRP in Cincinnati reference about throwing turkeys from a helicopter. By God is my witness, I swore turkeys can fly. I think something like that. I'm catching all the references so far. Hello, Chris. Do you have any interest in the Ricky Rockman 1 Foot in the Gutter tour? I've been wanting to see it. Hello, Randy. I don't even know if I knew that Ricky Rockman was doing it. I used to follow him on Instagram. I unfollowed him, I don't know, a year ago or something. Maybe nothing personal. Just I don't know. You get tired of it. I guess. Wow, it's a funny question, Chris. Am I interested? There's no way in hell ever that he will ever come into Mexico. So I mean, I can't say that. I guess if the price was right, I would go and listen to him talk for an hour or two. Ms. Felony Strutter, hello. It's been a long time. Used to be a regular commenter. Now it's a rarity. Same with Rat Rock, and I should say that's fine. If people don't comment, that's fine. But thank you for coming to this. for anybody's. I know a lot of people don't comment, and that's okay. I'm not a YouTube commenter myself. I've been good. Now I should say, let me get something out of the way, and I hope I can do this. Hold on, Jesus, you're in a coma? Are you serious? Felony Strutter was in a coma? Okay, Rat Rock. Yeah, you watch, but I'm not a big commenter. Yeah, I understand that. Like I said, I'm not either. I appreciate those that do those, such as Mike Pratt. Dallas doesn't comment either. I know Dallas watches, but he's not a commenter. Um, oh, okay. Felony Strutter really was in a coma. All right. Well, I guess that's a good excuse for not coming around. Luis. Hello, Luis. Did I greet everybody? Randy. I know Randy had a question to ask. Maybe we can get to that a little bit later. I don't want to dive into that right away. It's maybe a little bit too heavy. We can kind of ease our way into Randy's comment. Randy asked, "Do I miss Canadian summers?" Not really, because it's like Canadian summer here pretty much all year round. Although here we don't get the long um, we don't get the long summer days like you do it. There's my dog barking. We don't get the long summer days here because the closer you are to the equator, the daylight hours are more moderate. Um, Nah, felony sweater. Don't leave. Nobody should leave. Yeah, so we don't get this. Like it's 7 o'clock for me now, and it's hard to say today because it's really cloudy and it was raining a good part of the day. Hola, who's this? Twilight Kid. I'm not sure who Twilight Kid is. Kirk. Hello. There's Guy barking. Hello, Kirk. Very happy to see you. And Twilight Kid. Do I know you? I don't recognize the username. But yeah, getting back to the long summer days, when I was in Turkey, it got. I mentioned that in a couple of videos. It's still fair. I mean, it's not light, but there's light in the sky. Blue. A lot of blue sky at 9:30 at night, and here it's dark. Even at this time of year, which we're only, I guess, 10 days past or 11 days past the longest day of the year. It's still. It's still. It gets dark at by 7:30. It's complete darkness, which means we also don't get the short days either. In Canada, in Toronto, it's pitch black at 5 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock in the afternoon in December. Uh, Alley rules. Ron Stimmel. Hello. Um, oh yeah, Randy says Twilight Kid is Lisa. Oh, Lisa Dallas's wife. I assume Twilight Kid is Lisa. I won't say the last name. Dallas's wife, Lisa. Rat Rock says celebrate Canada Day by watching the CFL this weekend. I didn't even watch. There's Blue Flyer. I never understand anything that Blue Flyer says or posts. Um, I watched the Grey Cup. I not even every year. I've missed some. I've watched some Grey Cups. I was not a big CFL fan, which now that I'm out of Canada, I think I kind of regret that a little bit. I should have paid more attention to CFL. Better game, I think, and I love NFL. I think CFL is actually a much better game, better rules, more. It's just more bigger field. It's more fun. It's just the players are not nearly as good, not as talented as they are in the NFL. Yeah, NFL is the way to go. Um, Hold on, a few questions here, Randy. Any rock band? Well, Randy had a couple of things. Randy had a question that he asked me yesterday in a comment. Any big rock bands coming to Mexico this summer? Nocivo. Who is Nocivo? I know. I recognize the name. It's hard for me to remember. I know he's here every time. I need a reminder of who Nocivo is. California. And what I think of the Florida Panthers taking the cup, I know Dallas is happy about that because he hates the Edmonton Oilers. I wanted Edmonton to win. It's amazing how many Canadian teams have been in the Stanley Cup final in the last 10 or 15 years. Ottawa, pretty much everybody with the Leafs. Montreal 2 or 3 years ago, 3 years ago I think they lost. Vancouver twice in the last couple of years, or maybe more than a couple of years. Uh, I guess everybody, but but the Leafs, it seems like. Yeah, too bad. I don't really care about the Oilers, but I do have, it's Wayne Gretzky's team and Messier and Dave Dave Semenko, and I still kind of like those Oilers teams from the 80s. Yeah, Dallas liked it. So many questions here. Next big trip, I it's not planned yet, but it's in the what stage is it in? It's in the thought stages of Thailand. Maybe February next year. I don't know, that might be too soon. It's a lot of money. These trips cost a lot of money, and I need to save up for it. I don't know if I'll be able to afford Thailand, but I think my next big trip will be Thailand, and I would like it to be in November. Sorry, not November, February, as I went to Vietnam in February, and it's pretty much the same because they have the best weather there. It's still hot and nice, but almost no rain. I didn't have any rain in Vietnam, and also it's cheaper because it's off season, and I can go anytime I want. Um, Not for yes, that's right. Dallas is going to be here in Mexico in February. I'm not sure if it's going to happen or not. It might be too early for that. Who else? What am I missing? And by the way, if you asked me something or commented on something and I missed it, please comment again because sometimes it's hard to pay attention to these. Um, let me scroll up. And by the way, is it okay for everybody? Does it look better, sound better? It's better for me on the StreamYard service. Um, I do like this better now. It looks better for me. Oh yeah, Nasibo is in California. I did see that. Oh, and he's a Kings fan. Um, yeah, Blue Flyer. Oh, he's living vicariously through me. I know Dallas is going to Japan. I think in October, right? Yeah, Thailand is very appealing to me. It's very appealing for a lot of people. It's hot. Um, Good weather. I don't ever want to be in anywhere that's not sunshine and hot weather. Maybe for the rest of my life. Great food. Um, Exotic, cool place. Other side of the world, different culture, different language. People look different. Everything is different. It's cheap. That's a big factor for me. Yeah, Thailand is very appealing. Beaches, big cities. How many people on board right now? 15, 15, oh, 13. It just went from 15 to 13. Maybe people didn't like my talk about Thailand. I guess it goes up and down. Yeah, Blue Flyer says he's just gonna watch videos like man. By the way, you know what? I want to say something, and I mentioned it in some of the. I don't know if I mentioned in the videos, but I mentioned it in comments before. I don't know what happened with my camera now, but did anybody notice how shaky it is? It's like a Michael J. Fox. These videos are like it looks like this, and it's not me. It's I guess it's the software of the camera. My camera has a video stabilizer, and you can turn it on and off. And if you're wondering why it's not on all the time, which it is on all the time, when you turn it on, it shrinks the width of the camera. So when you have it off, it's much wider. When I do the I want to talk about this albums, there's no video stabilizer because the camera's in a tripod. So that's why it's really wide. When you put the video stabilizer on it, it smallens. It makes the screen it's not as wide. And so when I go hiking, I always have it on and I have it on all the time, and I don't know, it's shaking like crazy. Sometimes worse than others, but it drives me nuts. It looks terrible. Will I go to Thailand by myself? Most likely, if you're asking Dallas if I will go with Burju, no, I don't think so. I don't see that happening. We talked about that. I don't think we're at least in person. Sadly, not going to see each other again. We're still talking. I talked to her today, but for various reasons, it's too hard. But I think I'll be going to if I go to remember Thailand is not for sure yet. If I go, I think I'll be going by myself. Um, Dallas says I need an action cam. Maybe you guys can all pool together and buy me a GoPro, and I can make better, nicer looking videos. Luis was rooting for Edmonton. Me too. I mean, I don't care about Florida or Florida. Don't care about Edmonton either. But yeah, like I said, I do have a little bit of an attachment to them from the old days with Gretzky and Messier and Semenko and Yari Curry and Grant Fuhrer, all those guys. 16 people here now. Who else? How much can everybody hear this beep, beep, beep of the bus outside my house? Oh, Nocivo says it's cool that I travel by myself. He's never been to the movies by himself. Yeah, I know a lot of people are like that. I know somebody who won't won't even wait for a taxi by herself. I know some people they won't go to the movies by themselves, a restaurant. I'm not like that. I went to concerts by myself. I think even sometimes when I was a teenager. Um, it's never bothered me to do things by myself. I mean, some people go, "Oh, I want." I mean, there have been times when I've wanted to do something, and I go, "Ah, there's nobody to do it with, so I'm not going to do it." And that's because I guess it's something that I don't really want to do. But I mean, if I want to go to a concert or on vacation or something, and nobody can come, it's not going to stop me from going. Um, Kirk is asking what's up with the girl from Turkey. Randy had asked me that as well. Um, and Twilight Kid Lisa is asking about the Burju. Nobody can spell her name right. Let's see if anybody can spell. And I understand because I never would have known how to spell her name based on how it sounds. Burju. Who can guess how to spell Burju? Bourdieu. There's Deaf to Demands. Oh, Deaf to Demands made a very nice comment to me earlier today, which I read but didn't reply to. But thank you. I always appreciate it when people make comments, especially if they're kind of nice. Kirk is close, but still not right. And I sent the link to all my videos to the playlist to my uncle too, and he sent me an email and he said who is Burju and how did you meet? And he also spelled it wrong. No, nobody's got it right. Kirk, no, Kirk is wrong again. I mean, and I think unless you Google it or unless you know about Turkish, the Turkish alphabet or the letters they use, I don't think anybody will get it. It's all right. Let's see if there's any more guesses. Burju, Burju. No, brujeria. No, it's not brujeria. There's. I'll give you a clue. There's no J in Burju. All right, I'll spell her name. This is not worth the suspense. Oh, Mike Pratt with the he had the acroma comment the other day, and now he's saying Bourdieu in a French way. I think Mike has been taking French classes. That's how you spell her name, like Burku. The C in Turkish sounds like the J in English, or if it's the C with the little tail on it, like garçon in French, then it's like a ch. So it would be Burchu if that C had the little tail on it, but it's Burju. C is yeah, like a J. So there it is. Nasibo was on the right track with the Y, like in Spanish, the Jew or Jew. Yeah, Dallas wouldn't have guessed. No, it looks like Burku. Burku. Does Eric speak Turkish? No, Eric doesn't speak Turkish. He speaks. Man, that guy's a master of a lot of things. He speaks pretty much native level English, almost as good Spanish. His native language is Dutch, and I think he spoke a little bit, I think, of Portuguese, but no Turkish for Kirk, or not for Kirk, for Eric. Oh yeah, who made a comment to me about Survivor that I look like? What's the guy's name for Survivor? I didn't even know his name. Burju looks like a Romanian name. I don't know. I don't know any Romanian names. Eric has been to Turkey though. Eric went, I think, about 2 years ago. He went to Turkey. I bought Eric a big pack of Turkish tea. He requested that. It was Randy who said that I look like the guy from Survivor. What was the guy's name? Frank Sullivan? I don't even know. And you know what? I only know, and I think probably like most people, I only know "Eye of the Tiger." I don't know any other Survivor song, and it's kind of funny because I'm pretty knowledgeable about music, and when you said the name Frank Sullivan, Frankie Sullivan, I think was his name. Um, totally new name for me, completely unrecognizable. Um, Dallas watches Survivor. I've never seen that. Nosio has I have an 80s skater look. Okay. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess that's good. You know what? A guy in Turkey called me Brad Pitt, which I took that as a great compliment. I was walking, on the street somewhere, and I think it was in Taksim Square, and one of these, busy places where a lot of people around, and a lot of people stand outside their store and take him. And he said, "Hey, Brad Pitt, come into my store, Brad Pitt." It's better than being called, you know, you look like Ronnie James Dio. What are you most attracted from Turkey? What do you mean? Give me a little bit, be more specific, Luis. What are you asking? What attracted me the most? Why did I go to Turkey? Well, while I'm waiting for Luis to maybe clarify a little bit what he was asking, I'll tell why I went to Turkey. 100% for Burcu. No other reason that I went. If I had never met her, I never would have gone to Turkey. So she was the reason I went. But I mean, aside from her and the things I did with her, I had an awesome time. It was I'm very happy that I went. Turkey was not a place. Istanbul or Turkey was never a place that was desirable for me. I didn't hate it, but there are a lot of places in the world you can't be attracted to all of them, or you can't go or want to go to all of them. And Istanbul was or Turkey was not one of them, but I liked it a lot. I had a very good time. It was very cool. Oh, places. It's kind of weird. Places in Turkey. Like I didn't really, when you go to, I don't know, like New York, you go to Times Square and MoMA, and maybe you go to Yankee Stadium or Madison Square Garden and Empire State Building, all the famous places. And you go to Paris, you go to the Eiffel Tower, and you go to London, you go to Buckingham Palace, things like that. There wasn't really anything about Turkey that I'll get to Dallas's comment about the bus trip to Greece. Um, there wasn't like one thing about Turkey. I guess the popular things in Turkey that the tourists go to are um, I was going to say Burj Khalifa. What's it called? Hagia Sophia, the big mosque, the famous mosque, which costs 25 euros to get into. Impossible that I would pay 25 euros to go to that. Um, the Galata Tower, which costs 30 euros, and it's like 4 stories high or something. And God, I showed in the video how long I think I showed it how long the line was to go up the Galata Tower. The Maiden Tower, the Iron Maiden Tower, I think is the full name for it, but they just call it the Maiden Tower. That was also, I can't remember how that was, but yeah, it was cool to see it, but not something that I want to see. So yeah, I mean, if you saw the videos, I didn't really go to any like real landmarks. I saw some things. I just liked walking around the neighborhoods and going in the stores and seeing everything. I don't need to go to. Um, I didn't go to any museums or anything like that, but it was just a nice place to walk around. Chris says he's looking forward to Metallica at Photosol. I am too, and I did see. I think was it Chris? Was it you that made the comment that tickets a couple of weeks ago? The tickets were available and they were like 2,900 pesos. Um, I might have to skip Metallica, man. I can't afford to pay 2,900 pesos for one concert. That you can get the abono, the double for 2 nights for 3,700, which is that's more likely that I would pay 3,700 for two than 2,900 for one. And somebody asked earlier, any concerts coming up? I did get Paul McCartney tickets a couple of days ago. Oh, what a story that was! It was yeah, that was really something. But yeah, Paul McCartney's playing here 3 nights, and he just played 2 nights here in November last year. And now he's coming back in November this year. And I did get tickets for Paul McCartney. Um, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about Metallica. I'll probably go to 2 or 0, and it sucks. It would really bother me to not see Metallica. But my God, my Paul McCartney to put it into perspective, they're both playing at the same venue, the same stadium. Um, Paul McCartney and Metallica. My Paul McCartney ticket was 500 pesos. Well, I guess including service charge, it was 570. Metallica is 2,900. And even if you don't know about the currency conversion, just think of it as pure numbers, as raw numbers. 2,900 versus 570. Unbelievable how expensive Metallica is. Just crazy. Um, oh yeah. Randy's asking about my opinion of Vancouver. Ask Dallas about that. I've never been to Vancouver. Um, can't say. I mean, obviously, it has it's on the ocean or close to the ocean. Mountains all around it. Apparently, it's very beautiful, but I've never been there, so I can't say. Um, and Dallas said the trip to Greece, the bus trip looked hellish. Maybe not quite hellish, but it was. Again, I don't regret it. It was 51 hours total from the time we got on the bus near Bourdieu's house. They picked us up at a mall. We had to go to the mall. They picked us up there, and then they dropped us off there. That was 51 hours, and of that 51 hours, we spent I think 4 hours on a beach the first day, 4 hours on a beach the second day, and on the first day after we went to the beach, we drove back to the hotel, which took like over an hour, and then drove back into the town or the city. It's Thessaloniki, which is the second biggest city in Greece. We had 3 hours there, and that was it. So really, just 11 hours of good stuff and 40 hours of travel, sleeping. We spent one night in a hotel, so 40 hours of travel, hotel, 2 hours at the border coming back between Greece and Turkey. We spent about 2 hours waiting to get through the border. They made too many stops. We made like a stop like an hour after we left, an hour and a half after we left. Then 20 minutes later, another stop, and then stopped at the border. You have to stop the border twice, once exiting Turkey and then the other one entering Greece. And then we made another stop once we got into Greece and then stopped for breakfast at about 6 a.m. And the place didn't take, I think I showed it in the video, the place didn't take cards, so we couldn't eat breakfast. I didn't touch cash the whole time. I didn't touch euros or Turkish lira. And Burju at that point didn't have any euros, so we couldn't eat because we didn't have any cash and they didn't take cards. Nocivo saw Metallica last August. $1,200. My God, just ridiculous. Blue Flyer like the airplane coverage. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. I have mixed feelings about traveling by plane. It's kind of exciting. It's also kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, I saw McCartney. I saw Paul McCartney in 2017 in Mexico, thinking that Lisa says she saw Paul McCartney in 2019. I saw him in 2017, thinking that this is my last chance to see him. He's never going to come again. And then he came last year, and he's coming again this year. So who knows? Yeah, the cats. My God, there are, and Istanbul is famous for that. There's cats everywhere. A lot of dogs too. I showed dogs too. Burju today was taking care of one of the street dogs. There's one that's in a park near her house, and she told me last night that one of them had something wrong with her, his or her. I don't know if the dog was male or female with the paw, and she called. They really take care of the animals there. The government and I guess the people there are very kind towards them. And she called somebody to come and take care of it and to look after it and look after the dog. And they went to check on it today. The vet. I guess it's like a government vet, the agency that takes care of it. But yeah, I like seeing the cats. Did I miss anything? Am I caught up for everybody? Chris saw Guns N' Roses at in Vancouver. Everybody. Randy has seen Paul McCartney. How are the dogs? They're good. Um, yeah, I mean they're my dogs. They have definitely become my dogs. It's been it's amazing how much it changed when I left pretty much from February through the day that I left to go to Istanbul. It's been very hot here. 33 to 38, 37 degrees every day. Very, very hot and very, very dry, very low humidity. I saw it as low as 7% humidity one day a couple of months ago. And I got back on Tuesday morning last week and it was raining. It rained pretty much all day Tuesday. Eric had told me that it rained all day Monday. It rained all day today. I think it's rained every day. And it's normal. I mean, this is the rainy season, but unusual that we have so much rain during the day. And it's more work taking care of the dogs when it's raining, but I'm getting better at it and they're staying very, very dry. It rained started raining last night at about 9 p.m. and I woke up this morning at 6:57 on my first day off in ages, and where I could sleep in. I've been waking up at 5:40 since I got back. We're starting work at 6 a.m. And today I had no hike, no work, and I set my alarm for 8:30, thinking that yeah, I'm going to sleep in until 8:30. I woke up at 6:57. It was still raining, and it rained I think until around 9 or 10 o'clock. It stopped. I took the dogs for a walk, came back. It started raining again. It rained pretty much the whole day. Yeah, a lot more work. Um, Water shortages in Cuernavaca. There are always water shortages in Cuernavaca. I've never suffered. Lisa is asking this. I've never suffered that. Mexico City. I don't know if anybody saw this, but they had something called Day Zero. I think it was last week or something where they make a big deal of this that this was when the water Mexico City was gonna the whole city was gonna run out of water, which of course they didn't. But their reservoirs, or I guess the backup system was running very, very low, even with all these rains lately. But I personally have never had any water shortages in Cuernavaca, except when the water pump doesn't work. Because the way the water works, there's these cisternas that are underground, and they pump. The water gets pumped up to these tinacos on the roof, and that's where you get your water from. And occasionally, my pump hasn't worked. But in terms of there being no water, no, haven't experienced that. Uh, do I have a favorite Kiss member? No, because I'm not a child nor a teenager. No, I guess I was always drawn to Gene the most. I don't really think of it like that, but yeah, Gene was always Ace, I guess. Was second. I don't know. Peter was always at the bottom. Mike Pratt, where are you? Come and defend Peter Chris. But Gene was always the guy that I was most attracted to, I guess. Not attracted to in that way. Jordan, hey, another Canadian. We got a few Canadians here. Yeah, I did make it to Turkey, and thank you for watching. Mark St. John is my favorite. Yeah, Mark St. John. No, I liked him better when he was in White Tiger. Ah, Beirut. Yeah, I think there are. You know what? Eric has my friend Eric. He's been to 53 countries, something like that. He said the most beautiful country he's been to is Iran. You maybe wouldn't expect that, but and so Beirut. Beirut also got exploded. Was it no? I guess about 2 years ago. Remember that giant explosion from the fertilizer plant or whatever it was? That just unbelievable. Yeah, I guess a lot of those places that we think of as being war torn countries or you know uh, I don't know, extreme. I don't know. Maybe I'm not using this specifically, but just Saudi Arabia and Oman and Kuwait and those countries like that. I'm sure in many cases they're very beautiful. 2020 was that when that explosion was in Beirut? Was it that long ago? Yeah, I knew it wasn't last year. Rock Warriors Rules. Ali Rules says, I get. What is that? Is that a White Tiger album? I was joking about White Tiger. I've never heard one note of White Tiger's music. I just know that Mark St. John, Mark Norton was his real name. Was in White Tiger. Oh, it's a song. Okay, Rock Warriors, White Tiger song. And Ali wrote it correctly. Song titles should be in quotation marks. Album titles should not be in quotation marks. Um, Chris says he found my channel. Do you mean you? That was how you found my channel originally? Chris, was from the Guns N' Roses bootleg merch tour. I guess that's what you mean. Um, yeah, I guess a lot of people have found me from some of those merch tours. Some of those merch tour videos had tens of thousands. I think a few of them had hundreds of thousands of views. Iron Maiden, I guess Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and it's so weird. I did Paul McCartney and Taylor Swift and Madonna, and a few hundred people watch it. It's very strange how that works. I don't know how YouTube or social media works. It's very vexing sometimes. Oh, August 2020 was the Beirut explosion. Yeah, the algorithm hates me. I don't know what it is. Swifties are going to save democracy. Well, Chris says I got a kick out of the Taylor Swift bootleg merch tour. Lots of good one-liners. Oh well, thank you. I don't remember what the one-liners were, but thank you for watching, and I appreciate that you're paying attention, Chris. Uh, how am I storing my growing vinyl collection? That's a good question. I can show it here. I mean, actually, I think in the videos you can see it. I don't know if I'm not disturbing here. There they are. There. I'm gonna have to get another one because I still have many. Oh no, not quite that many, but I still have many that are not in the rack. I got that on Amazon. I think it was around, I don't know, $30 or something like that. But yeah, that's where they are. It's this one is much full. There's room maybe for one more, and I keep all my records here that are in the queue over here, and yeah, I'll need to get another one of these at some point. Now, I guess. But I think my vinyl days are over. I'm not saying I'm never going to buy a record ever again, but I pretty much have that out of my system. I bought those couple in Istanbul, Kiss, Smashes, Thrash and Hits, Smashes, Thrash and Hits, and Y&T Black Tiger. Like I said in the video, it's just maybe I wouldn't have bought them if I'd seen them in El Chopo, but it's kind of cool to see Y&T a Y&T record at when you're in Turkey. So kind of cool. That store was good. They had some good stuff there. A lot of it I already had. I would have been and way cheaper than even the new records were like cheaper than Amazon, and the used ones were way cheaper than typical what you would see at El Chopo. Prices were pretty good there. Blue Flyer downloads from YouTube. Yeah, I know a lot of people do that. I've never done that. I don't know if I've ever downloaded music from YouTube. But I do download. I don't know if anybody knows SoulSeek, and I don't know if we've talked about this before. I discovered SoulSeek in 2004, 2003 or 2004. One of my brother's friends told me about it, and I still use it pretty much every week, at least, maybe a couple times a week. I download a lot of stuff from SoulSeek for 20 years now. Never disappoints. Yeah, SoulSeek is great. Very reliable. Oh, we got a newcomer here. Kino Kefe. Hi Dan. How was your trip? Is really that many cats in the street in Istanbul? Um, Let me get to that. Do I know you, Kino? I mean, hello. I'm not saying do I know you? Because if I don't, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm just wondering if because I don't recognize the name. Um, yeah, I mean, if you Google Istanbul cats, you'll see that it's one of the things that Istanbul's most famous for. And you see these little TikTok videos or Instagram videos of, I mean, you see them on the when you go on the metro, you swipe your card or something on the where the turnstiles are. You see cats sleeping on the turnstiles. You see them in stores, restaurants. Um, yeah, a lot of cats in Istanbul, and they're very well taken care of, and people are very respectful of them. And the trip was great. Thank you. I had just a really, really, really good time. I really liked it a lot. I didn't know what to expect, but it was good. Uh, Dawkins, how can Dawkins have a new singer? That's like Van Halen having a new guitarist and drummer. Um, or what else could that be like? Could be like Keel getting a new singer, or Dio getting a new singer. Oh, Kino, thank you. I don't know him or her. I guess him. All my viewers are guys. It's a real sausage fest. My channel. Um, he says I don't know him, but he's been watching my channel for years. Thank you. It's very nice to know that. Really. Um, yeah, is Don even a singer anymore? Yeah, I know he had some really bad some voice problems years ago. Wasn't he always a boring singer? Um, just I mean, he really had no personality, and even his voice. And I was an okay Dawkins fan. I was, they were okay, but I just can't imagine anybody saying Dawkins is my favorite band. I can, if somebody says Twisted Sister, YNT, Keel, I could understand all those, but Dawkins, that's like, eh. I understand liking them, but how can anybody rave about Dawkins? It's like saying your favorite food is, potato chips or something. And his voice is very non-distinct or nondescript. What's the word? Nondescript, right? I mean, he doesn't really he doesn't have like a signature sound. I think, um, he's not a screamer. He's not particularly. I think Bret Michaels is that too. Yeah, George Lynch is awesome. George Lynch is definitely the highlight of Dawkins for sure. Deaf to Demand saw Dawkins opening for Priest. Yeah, when Judas Priest played in Toronto on the Turbo Tour, that was also with Dawkins. I think I remember Dawkins opening that tour. Yeah, I can see being a George Lynch fan. I can see saying that George Lynch is my favorite guitarist, but I just can't see anybody saying Dawkins is my favorite band. See now again, Blue Flyer says DEO was the best singer. I don't know who that is. Maybe I don't know if you're talking about Dio, Ronnie James Dio, RJD. Kino says YouTube deleted my other channels. This is like the fifth I've had. I remember they said the land of freedom bullshit. Okay. Yeah. Dallas says the same thing about uh Don Don Dawkins. Nah, Mike says their first few albums were great. Don had a good, strong voice. Not that he was a bad singer. Well, I guess nobody is a bad singer. You can't be a bad singer and be successful. But I just said he is very, very maybe vanilla is the best way to explain or to say what I think about Don Dawkins' voice. Just doesn't stand out. He never sings aggressively. He doesn't scream. He doesn't wail. He isn't, really he's not like real powerful. He's just there. Dawkins was Kirk's favorite in high school. Maybe back then I could see people thinking that just because of George Lynch, but now or for Vince Neil. Vince Neil. Oh, now okay. Vince Neil's a fucking horrible singer. Now he was great even live. Vince Neil was good live back then. Yeah, Vince Neil is a complete joke. Just the worst. Yeah, I remember Don Dawkins' involvement with Scorpions on the Blackout album. I think Klaus Meine almost lost his voice completely, and I think Don Dawkins filled in. You can't hear him, but yeah, I know he's on there. And you know what? I'll tell you something about speaking of Scorpions, but Love at First Sting. I just learned about 2 or 3 months ago that Jimmy Bain played bass on Love at First Sting. Not on one song or on some songs. He played bass on the entire album, and that came directly from Scorpions. When Scorpions started their Vegas residency a couple of months ago, they did a series of videos on YouTube, and they did these sit down things. And Matthias Jabs and Klaus Meine were talking about that, and I had never ever heard this before. And I've been a Scorpions fan since 1982, and they said, yeah, we were having some problems, and Jimmy Bain played bass. Had no idea Jimmy Bain was the bass player on all of Love at First Sting. Yeah, I didn't know that either. And I know for years there were rumors that Bobby Rondinelli played drums instead of Herman Rebel. I don't know. They didn't address that. Yeah, Vince Neil just doesn't care anymore. And I don't care that he's fat, and he is very fat. Um, but what I do care about, I guess I don't really care. But what the problem with that is if he's fat and he still makes an effort, he can still sing. That's okay. but he's fat and he just doesn't care. And I mean, he's lazy. He's not just a bad singer. He's lazy. Everybody knows he doesn't sing the words or anything like that. He just makes no effort. Just an awful singer, like embarrassing. Yeah, yeah. Chris says he's too fat to sing. He runs out of breath. Yeah, he just doesn't care. If he doesn't care about his physical appearance, he obviously doesn't care about his voice either. I think that's why he gets so much shit. Is not just because he's fat, but because he's fat and he's bad. Dave Meniketti would have been a good replacement for Van Halen before Sammy Hagar. Um, yeah, Y&T had a good kind of a Van Halen vibe, especially on the album called, was it 10 or Contagious? It was Contagious. There's a song called, I'm talking about Y&T, the Y&T album called Contagious. There's a song called LA, was it LA Rocks? Yeah, I think it was LA Rocks, and what was the Eyes of a Stranger? Total Van Halen worship. Yeah, I guess he would have been good. But Van Halen, they needed a big name, and Sammy Hagar was a much, much, much bigger name than Dave Meniketti. Yeah, Contagious is good. Did I ever meet Vince Neil at the Cat House? No, never met him at the Cat House nor anywhere else. I met Axel twice at the Cat House and Tammy Down from Faster Pussycat at the 7-Eleven beside the Cat House. But no, I've never met Vince Neil nor anybody from Motley Crue. I remember that when Tommy Lee's roller coaster got stuck. That was really bad because they were filming that show for a DVD, and yeah, the roller coaster got stuck. I would like to see Y&T. If Y&T came here, I would definitely see them. If the price was right, anyway. I saw them open for Motley Crue in 1985 on the Theater of Pain tour. I like Y&T. They're to me they're in that same category as Keel. I mentioned earlier, Dawkins. Good band, but there's something missing. I don't know what it was, but yeah, Y&T is cool. Although I never think I don't know if Y&T ever had a great album. There were some, they had albums with great songs, but for me, a lot of their songs were just also kind of so. Nosiba asks, how was Axel? I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again since somebody asked. I'll try to tell it quickly. It was at the Cat House, and we saw Axel, and I was with my 3 friends. We were all from Toronto. We had flown there to Hollywood to spend a couple weeks, and we saw Axel sitting by himself at the Cat House. And I went up to talk to him. I was, and I guess still am, always the one who was, kind of outgoing, and it didn't bother me to go up and start a conversation with somebody. And so I went up and I talked to him. I just said hello and told him I was from Toronto, which he probably couldn't have cared less. So I was 19, had fake ID to get into Cat House, and talked to him for a few minutes, or maybe not even a few minutes, a minute, or I don't know, something like that. And I've always taken a lot of pictures. And even back then, this is in March 1989. I had my camera with me, and I asked him, could I take a picture with you? And he said no, and he wasn't a dick about it, but he just said no. And he said the reason why was because he said he said, I'm not in the mood. I just came here to get in a fight. He said I just want to get in a fight. He said I'm not in the mood for a picture. He didn't say that like angrily. It was just like as a matter of fact. So I said okay. And then Cat House was once a week. I think it was Tuesdays only. And so we went again the next Tuesday and saw him again. And he was kind of on the other side of, I don't know, of a room or something. And I was walking towards, we were walking towards each other, and we made eye contact, and we were looking at each other, looking deeply in each other's eyes. And he said hello to me. I can't remember if he actually said hello or if he just like nodded to me, or waved to me or something as we walked past each other. And I don't know if it was because he remembered me from the week before, or if he saw me looking at him, and something like that. But yeah, that was a real classic uh Axl Rose story when he said he didn't want a picture because he wasn't in the mood because he just wanted to get in a fight. That's the classic debate, who would win a fight between Vince Neil and Axl Rose. I don't know. Have you discussed doing any more podcasts as with Jason and Chris? I expect to be talking to Jason maybe on Wednesday, tomorrow or Wednesday. I think Wednesday we're going to do an episode. I don't know if I should say, but yeah, I was texting with Jason the other day, and there will be an episode coming up with Jason McMaster. Yes, yes, yes. And yes, Sebastian Bach is from Toronto. Yeah, technically from Peterborough, which is a little bit east of Toronto, a little bit northeast. And but yeah, essentially he's from Toronto. Yeah. Ali wants me to ask Jason about the new Dangerous Toys album. I can probably remember that because I would probably ask him about that just because I want to know too. With Chris, I'm sure at some point we'll do Devil in the Details again too. We talked about that when we did Water, because that's my favorite Saga on Kick album, and it's Chris's. So we will do a Devil in the Details episode at some point. I just want to space them out a little bit. I don't want to do them too close together. And I just listen to Devil in the Details. Let me show you. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I listen to I exercise a lot and I walk a lot, and I was listening to a record. And for 20 or 21 years, I've been keeping track of my statistics when I exercise, how long, the temperature, and what music I listen to. And I can show you. And I haven't walked since I've been back because it's been raining too much. Let me show you here. Yeah, this was the last one I listened to. There, if you can see at the bottom. Where that's too bright, I think. Saigon Kick, Devil in the Details. I listened to that on June 12th, the day before I went to Turkey. Isn't that interesting? I walked for 67 minutes, 5.16 kilometers, and listened to the great Devil in the Details. I worship that album. Spanish Rain. Yeah, Spanish Rain is just incredible. Will there ever be any dandelion kids in the future? No, I'm 54 years old. If I haven't, if I haven't had kids at this point, there's not going to be any kids in the future. No, impossible. It's not impossible. It's possible. I don't mean physically impossible. There's just it's not going to happen. And is it time for me to tell the Burju story? Randy had asked me. Yeah, Mick Jagger is fairly new to that. Yeah, he's also Mick Jagger. I'm not saying I can't do it. Actually, you may remember the name Lily, my ex-wife. Her dad, when she was born, her dad was 60 or 65. He died when he was 99. He almost made it to 100. Um, Tony Randall, if any of you old guys, everybody remembers Tony. We're all old guys, I think. I don't think there are too many young. I think I lack. I don't have the young person demographic nor the woman demographic, except for Lisa. Tony Randall had a kid when he was, I think, in his 80s. Um, yeah, but no, I have no interest. I mean, I never really had interest in kids. Yeah, Rod Stewart too. Yeah, all these guys. I guess that's an ego thing too. And Lily's father was also a musician and pretty famous. So maybe they're, you know, um, all right, so should I tell the Burju story? Randy had asked. Let me see what he said. I think he just asked how. What was your question, Randy, or anybody else? Yeah, they all have a lot of money too. Yeah, they've got they have obviously a very very different lifestyle than I do. Um, but obviously having kids really changes your lifestyle. Um, oh, and I just got a notification from Burju. Oh yeah. So Randy wanted to know. Well, okay, I'll tell. Is everybody ready and settled in to hear this interesting Burju story? I need at least three. It doesn't have to be unanimous, but I need at least three people that think this story is worthwhile. Okay, Randy is one. I don't even know if I think Dallas knows this story. I think I told Dallas. Well, okay, Allie is another one. Okay, there's three. All right, so Well, I've lived here in Mexico for 18 years, and I've been teaching English. Mike Pratt says yes too. I've been teaching English for 18 years, and I taught in schools for 12 years, and I've been teaching only online for 6 years. And I have a lot of students from, well, different countries, but Turkey is one of the top countries where I have a lot of students from. And Burju called me. Actually, it was on June 21st last year, which is notable for two things. One, it's the first day of summer. I love seasons and I love things like that. Hold on. Kino is asking if I have stories about hookers. I guess he means hookers. No, I don't. Kind of from Vietnam, but that was maybe I can get to that later. And then it turns out that we were together on our, if you call it an anniversary. I was in Turkey on June 21st, which was the 1 year since we met. So she called me just, randomly, and or she made a reservation with me. I can't remember. And so we had, a little class, and I liked her right away. I thought she was, and I've talked to a lot of people, and some of them women are very good looking, and some of them are very nice, and a few of them, not too many, but a few of them are very good looking and very nice. Not just nice, but just interesting and cool to talk to, and you just have like some kind of connection. And almost right from the start with her, I right away I know she was hot. I was just like, oof. And but that's no big deal because I said that I kind of get that a lot. And so we talked, and it was nice that we and I can tell when somebody likes you. I don't mean likes you, but if it's a good conversation or not. And she called me again, I think the next day, or made a reservation, reserved me for the next day. And almost instantly, the more that we she seems very reserved. She is quite reserved. I mean, she's from Turkey, and well, I'll get to that. Let me get back to that. One of the things, I'll get to that now. One of the things that I did like about her was, she's from Turkey, and Turkey is a Muslim country. And so, there's a lot of things that go with that. And I thought one of the things I liked about her was she was very different. She had a tattoo. Um, there were a few other things. I won't say what they were, but I thought, wow, she's not like your typical Turkish woman, because I've talked to a lot of them, and guys too. And so that kind of attracted me to her, not in a, that kind of way, but just I thought, oh, okay. Um, and so we talked, I guess, for June, maybe around, maybe a couple of months, maybe sometime in late August, because we're not supposed to give out our personal information to people, because I guess they don't want you stealing students and taking money from them. Um, and so what we were talking one day, I guess it was in August. So we've been talking for about 2 months, and we always had great conversations. It was always very fun to talk to her, and I know, and also she made another account so she could talk to me more, which was a good sign. So sometime in August, she was talking about that because her hair is kind of not curly but kind of wavy, it's undulating. And she said, she used to have straight hair. Sometimes she straightens her hair, and I said, oh, I'd like to see that. And she said, oh, I can show you a picture. And so she opened her phone, and she showed me a picture of herself, and it was from her Instagram. And so she showed me. I thought, and I couldn't see her name. So I said, "Oh, wait, let me see that again." So she showed again, as she did, I took a screenshot so I could see what her name was, so I could find her, so I could stalk her and see other pictures of her. And and so I did, and the picture is kind of blurry. I had to use software um what's the word? To make it more clear, so I could read her name, and I did, and then I found her, and her Instagram is private, so I requested to add her, which I'd never done before. In all these years, I've never added anybody like that. And so she accepted it. Yeah, it is kind of creep. Well, I mean, you know what? Yeah, no, Silva is saying that I'm a creep. Yeah, and no, at this point it had been 2 months, and No, it didn't feel creepy, and the only reason I sent it to her was because I got the vibe from her that she would be accepting of it, and so she did, and I said, I'd like to talk to you more, not just, in the class." And so we did, and we talked a lot, like, really, really, really a lot. I won't even say how much time we spent talking. I remember one night that we talked for, like, 10 hours. I'm seriously, like teenagers. I went to bed at, like, 7 in the morning. Um, anyway, that was how we met. And then she came to Mexico. This all happened very, very quickly. It kind of was like, I don't think I actually invited her. Like, I don't know if I ever said, like, "I want to invite you to come to Mexico," but it was kind of like, "Oh, it would be cool if you came to Mexico," or, something like that. And she did. I mean, almost, like, that was it. I remember she bought her plane ticket September 21st. We met on June 21st. She bought her plane ticket on September 21st, and we found each other privately on Instagram sometime in late August or early September. So it happened kind of quickly. And so she came here, as you may know, in February, a couple of months ago, and then I've gone there, or I went there to see her, and that's the story. Um, yeah, I saw a couple of people saying that you wish you quit smoking. Yeah, I wish that she would too. Um, for Turkey is like one of the top, has one of the highest smoking rates of any country in the world. I don't know if I mentioned that in any of the videos. I feel like I was the only person in Turkey who wasn't a smoker. It's unbelievable, and you can smoke anywhere. I remember we were walking past the store once, and she was smoking, and we kind of looked in the store, and the woman working in the store, she said, "Oh, you can come in with a cigarette. It's okay." And yeah, you can smoke in restaurants. You can smoke. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the '80s or something. It's wild how many people smoke. Yeah, and I wish she would, quit smoking, obviously, if no other reason than for her health. Um, I mean, she's not suffering anything now, at least not at this point, and I hope she doesn't. But yeah, it would be, obviously best for her or anybody to quit smoking, but I mean, I'm not gonna push for that. Kino says Turkey is a disgrace to the Muslim world. Why is that? Can I smoke, Mr. Draco? Hello, I'm not sure who you are, but hello. Um, can I smoke on the planes, Turkey? No, but you know what? The first I told her about this, the first plane trip I ever took when I went to LA, the story that I was just talking about earlier when I met Axel. I used to smoke back then. I smoked for 17 years. I smoked on that plane. Maybe even that I flew to Florida in 1990. And I maybe smoked on that plane too, on that flight too. It's amazing to think that there was a time not that long ago when you could smoke on a plane. I remember smoking in banks, waiting in line at the bank when I was a teenager. They even had ashtrays up at the counter where the teller is, and in the line they had ashtrays. Amazing. And Turkey is still kind of like that. You can. I mean, you can't smoke anywhere. You can't smoke on the bus or the metro or anything like that. But there were a lot of places where I was really surprised that you could smoke. Oh, yeah, and I was asking Kino, why is, Turkey a disgrace to the Muslim world? They betrayed Palestine. I have no idea about that. I I'm not avoiding it, I just have no idea. I'm clueless. I don't know how Turkey would betray Palestine. What else? What else? Oh, Randy says, lung cancer must be big there. I would imagine, I mean, smoking and cancer go hand in hand. So I would imagine, and I missed something here. Deaf to demand said because the coffee probably, yeah, coffee's. I mean, coffee. I feel like coffee is big everywhere in the world, but yeah, she drinks a lot of coffee too. Oh yeah, Nosuo says you can smoke weed here. Same as Canada. Canada legalized weed in 2017 nationally. Same as cigarettes. Wherever you can smoke cigarettes, I think you can smoke weeds. They did make an announcement. My flight back was on Air Canada last couple days ago, last week, I guess, and they made an announcement on the plane saying no, no weed allowed, not even gummies or edibles. Um, Mr. Draco's asking favorite TV show. Have you ever watched The Sopranos or Breaking Bad? Breaking Bad, I've never seen an episode of, or I've never even seen 1 second. But from what I know, and my friends who know me, they say I would love it. Sopranos, you're talking to, I'll say maybe the biggest Sopranos fan ever. I could say I'm an expert on The Sopranos. The greatest thing to ever exist on television is Sopranos. I'm a massive Sopranos fan. Love it. Can't get enough of it. I'm like hardcore Sopranos fan. Like obsessively. Do I still have family in Canada? Randy wants to know. Yeah, I don't have a big family, and a lot of them have died, of course, over the years. I never had a big family. Who's still alive? My mother. My dad died in 2015. I have my mother, my brother, my sister. And my sister has 2 kids. My brother doesn't have kids. I have some cousins that I'm not really close with. We see each other when I go there, but I'm not real close with them. I have one aunt and one uncle, and neither of them have kids, and neither one of them is married. So yeah, that's about it. Nosivo has never seen Sopranos. I can't say that you'll love it. I can just say that I love it. It's incredible how good Sopranos is. What else? Anybody? Are we dying already? It's only been an hour. What's going on? No, did I ever see Led Zeppelin live? No, no, no. I mean, I guess their last concert was probably 1979. I guess I was only 9 years old. No, never saw Led Zeppelin live. Nope. Do I watch the parade where people are naked? I don't know what parade that is. A naked parade? I don't know what parade Kino was talking about. I have heard of trans metal. I don't think I've ever heard a note of their music, but yeah, of course I'm very, very well aware of trans metal. Van Halen. I saw Van Halen live, um, but with Sammy Hagar, and I saw David Lee Roth live solo, but I never saw Van Halen with David Lee Roth, which is unfortunate. At any point, even when they got back together in 2008 or whenever it was, 6, 7, 8, 9, whenever it was. No, never did. Um, Hold on. What am I happening here? Who is the naked parade guy? Have I seen the warning? Yeah, I saw the warning open for was it for Iron Maiden or Foo Fighters? I have seen Guns. No, it's in Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I have seen the warning. Don't care about them. Lisa is asking how many shoes I buy. Well, I bought 4 shoes, 2 pairs. Um, Both Nike. Yeah, I only like David Lee Roth Van Halen too. I have very, very little interest in Sammy Hagar Van Halen. I think Mike Pratt is a big fan of Sammy Hagar Van Halen. I'm not. Some moments, but overall, no. Guilty of liking Van Hagar. Yeah, that's yeah, maybe guilty is the right way to put it. So Ozzy, Deaf to Demands. We share the same first concert. Oh yeah, I remember. I think you mentioned that at the time. Yeah, Mike Pratt says he prefers Hagar. I don't know why I allow Mike Pratt to come to these live streams. Ugh. Um, yeah. So his Death to Demand's first concert was Ozzy with Accept in May '84. My first concert was Ozzy with Rat in April '84, just a month apart. Again, I don't know how anybody can prefer Sammy Hagar. It's just like with Dawkins. I can see people liking it, but to prefer it, oh my god. Then again, this is a guy that likes Peter Criss's 1978 album. Clash of the Titans 1990 was Nosivo's first concert. Yeah, I saw that one too in Toronto, of course, and loved it. Loved it. Oh man, that was really, really good. Yeah, 5150, great summer album. I've gone back and forth on that. Yeah, Summer Nights and the Gang's All Here. Summer Nights and My Radio. Summer Nights and My Radio. That's all we need, baby. Don't you know? Summer night. We celebrate when the gang's all here. Hot summer nights, any time of the year. Yeah, that's I guess the closest you can get to a David Lee Roth song. And Get Up, fast, kind of Get Up, make it work. One of the fast up tempo, kind of like Hot for a Teacher songs. Yeah, 5150 is okay. Um, that's right. Alice in Chains opened for Van Hagar. Eddie playing Symphony of the Universe with Alice in Chains during soundcheck. That's cool. How did you end up seeing soundcheck, Dallas? No, Nosibo didn't say that. I know that you didn't say that he prefers Hagar. Mike Pratt says he prefers Hagar over um over David Lee Roth. Um Luis, hello, Luis is asking, did I see? Oh, am I going to see Iron Maiden in November? Yes, I have my tickets, and I'm going to see Iron Maiden. I think it'll be the 13th or 14th time I've seen Iron Maiden. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any good AliExpress scores? No, I haven't bought anything from AliExpress since when Burju was here in February. I bought a few things for her before she came. I think that was the last thing. So no, the last thing I got from AliExpress was early or mid February, and that wasn't even for me. So now I'm kind of off AliExpress. Just they have great stuff, but man, I just and you go, oh, it's so cheap, but then you buy 50 things and it's not cheap. You were interviewing Allison Chains. Oh, okay, pretty cool. Maybe you can tell that story, Dallas. Rat Rock says when they were both on tour together, I went to the Hagar Ross show. I kind of forgot about that they toured together. Dave opened and he left. Yeah, yeah, he left after that. Didn't see Simon Hagar. Yeah, I could see that. Randy's asking, did I ever see Dio? Yeah, once I saw Dio on. What was the album that came after The Last in Line? Was it Sacred Heart? Yeah, Sacred Heart. I saw him in the Sacred Heart too. Mostly because Megadeth was opening, and I was I wasn't a massive Dio fan. I like Dio better than Dawkins for sure, but I wasn't a huge fan. But I did. Megadeth was opening, and Sabotage too. Although I didn't care about Sabotage, and I went mostly for Megadeth. But yeah, I did see Dio. Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto. That was actually I got my first tattoo that day. I think it was January 9th, 1988. I can't remember if that was before an Alice Cooper. I think it was, yeah, it was before Dio. Yeah, January 9th, 1988. I got my first tattoo on my way to go see Dio and Megadeth. Alice in Chains opened the Clash of Titans tour. Not many people paid attention. Yeah, and who was it? Testament that was supposed to be. I know Alice in Chains was kind of a last minute addition to that bill. It was supposed to be another thrash band. I don't know if it was Testament or Death Angel. I think it was Death Angel. It was Death Angel, and then they couldn't do it because they had that really bad bus accident. That's what it was. So Alice in Chains got added. Yeah, it was definitely weird because it was Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer thrash bands. And then you had Alice in Chains, who didn't fit at all. But I was an Alice in Chains fan even at that point, and I loved them. And I'm going to do an Alice in Chains episode. I don't know when, but I do have an Alice in Chains record sitting right over here in front of me that I will get to at some point. Megadeth, consistently one of the worst sounding live bands I've ever seen. Are you talking about Dallas? Are you talking about the quality of the sound or like the way they play? Yeah, and I never of the the big four. Megadeth was always my least favorite. I liked them actually. I really liked them at some point, but I was never. They were always number four for me. Um, and yeah, Dave Mustaine's voice. I mean, it was good at the time, and I have a Megadeth album over here too that I'll talk about at some point. But yeah, musically and vocally, Megadeth was my least favorite of the big four. Oh, the way they play. Okay. Yeah, and I think now his voice it's not that he was a bad singer back then. I just think his voice wasn't maybe appealing to everybody. But I think now from what I've heard about people, I mean what I've heard people say is that he's pretty much lost his voice. A couple of people, Kirk, I forgot Kirk was here. Kirk and somebody else. Oh, Kirk and Def saw Dio with Rough Cut. Yeah, Wendy Dio managed Rough Cut. I think. Yeah, she did. Paul Shortino, Amir Darak. I'm here to rock. The guy's name is Amir Darak, and or the, why don't I never liked Rough Cut. Why do I know their names? Paul Shortino, Amir Darak. Mm, don't remember who else. Amir Darak. Yeah, that was his name. Yeah, and I think I didn't realize until years later that it was supposed to be "I'm here to rock." Yeah, I didn't realize that until years ago. I always saw his name because I don't think I ever once heard anybody verbalize his name. I always only ever saw it in print, and I never said so. I just thought it sounded like an Arabic name or something, or Turkish or something. And then it was years and years later that I can't remember how I discovered it's Amir Darak is "I'm here to rock." I guess appropriate for the time. I remember what he looked like, but I don't remember one Rough Cut song. Kino's asking, "Am I familiar with some Jews celebrating the fall of the World Trade Center in New York?" No, I don't remember that. I remember supposedly, which is was debunked that there were Arabic people celebrating that, but I don't know if anybody celebrated that. Uh, Randy is asking, "Was there a big age difference between you and the girlfriend in Turkey?" Good question. Yes, there is. I don't know if anybody knows. Does anybody know how old I am? Any guesses? I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. How old am I? I'm not going to wait for answers. I don't care. I'm 54. That's right. I'm 54. She's 31. She's 31. We almost share the same birthday. Our birthdays are a week apart. No, she's not robbing the cradle. I'm robbing the cradle. But you know what? To be honest, that never. I don't think never once, including until today. Um, it never it was never a factor. Like I never felt like, oh, she just said something or she did something that is appropriate to her age or it makes me feel old. And I hope I think not, and I hope not. I don't think I ever said or did anything that made her feel like she was with an old man. To me, I mean the time that we spent together both in Mexico and in Turkey, and in the many God, countless hours that we talked on video, I never felt any age difference, nothing, 0. And I hope she didn't either. I don't think she did. Rat Rock is asking, "Is she right into a rock doll?" No, 0, nothing. She makes fun of me for me and my devil music, she calls it. Yeah, Bill Belichick 23. Yeah, I saw that, and he's 71 or 72 or something. What's her view on Kiss? Um, she hates Paul Stanley. She hates his hairy chest. Um, and well, I mean, it's these are it's. I guess that music is not very popular in Turkey. Did I get to third base? I don't even know what third base is. What is that's like a '70s thing, no? first base, third base. I don't know what third base is, but um, I won't talk about baseball. Do the math, I guess. Paul Stanley shaves his chest now. You know what she said? She said, "Let me see if I can find this." And I hope, and I don't think she'll ever see this. And I don't think she would mind if I did this. I want to see if I can find a comment that she made once. Just a minute. I'm going to search here. And there's nothing wrong with me. This is not, scandalous or anything. Uh, yes, yes. Here it is. So here's my conversation with her, and I knew she didn't like him and his hairy chest, and so I had sent her this picture of Paul Stanley, with his hairy chest exposed, and she said, can you read what she said here? She said, "I'm sorry, but it's like a monkey in the jungle." She said Paul Stanley with his hairy chest is like a monkey in the jungle, which, and I never let LOL. I never ever put LOL, but I said here, man, I'm literally LOLing when she said that Paul Stanley is like a monkey in the jungle. That was very funny. I liked it a lot. He didn't want the gray in his chest hair to show. I know way too much of his chest hair. Well, there's a lot of it. It's a lot to know. I never saw 40-year-old virgin. Oh, there's Guy barking. Oh, there's Angelina. Hello, Angelina. Nice to see you. I know the wax scene. I know. I just remember the clip that they tear the wax off, and I think it's an overhead shot, and he screams and becomes upright from the waxing table. But I never saw that movie. Randy, you have to leave. Thank you for coming, and I appreciate your viewership and all of your comments, and I hope they continue. Thank you, Randy. Have a good night. Hello, Angelina. Nice to see you. Thank you. New Ink and Turkey. Yes, I did. That's it. It was going to be. Does anybody know about the? I guess everybody knows about this. The evil eye. It's blue. The eye that wards off evil. And that comes from Turkey. Actually, in Mexico, they call it the Turkish eye, not the evil eye. And my plan was to get that tattoo. I was gonna get this. That this was the I was gonna get that one or this one, or something like that. And I didn't. I changed it to this. Um, why did I change it to this? I just thought these. I mean, I have 22, 23, 24 tattoos, and they're all pretty basic, pretty simple. And I thought, like for me, that would be a complex tattoo. And I just thought, it was, for one, it was going to be a lot more expensive too. I thought just getting that, it's going to take more time, and maybe the language thing could be a problem if I had anything to tell the guy. Although Burju would have obviously interpreted for me. But then, excuse me, the more time that I spent there as the days went on, and Turkish flags are everywhere in Turkey. Like even in Mexico, you don't see too many people flying flags outside their house. And in Vietnam too, there were a lot of flags. And I saw the flag every day, many times a day, and I started to really like it. So I said, oh, I'm gonna get this tattoo. It's simple, it's cheaper, faster, and I really really like the design. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, turkey flag tattoo. Now, yeah, and to me, it's not. Yeah, I guess it is. It's the flag, but not really. I mean, because it doesn't have the borders of the flag. It's obviously it's the symbols of the Turkish flag. But yeah, I like it too. It is a cool looking flag. Should have got a donair tattoo. Ha. Um, oh yeah, how about the Turkish food? Turkish food is really good, but it's all bread. At least, I'm sure people who actually live in Turkey and eat the Turkish food every day. Um, they eat very different than, it's just like if people like when Dallas or anybody comes to Mexico, you're going to eat, and everybody can probably hear Guy barking. I apologize. Yeah, so when you come to Mexico, you eat tacos and quesadillas and similar things. But Mexicans, um, there's a lot more to Mexican food than just these things that all the tourists eat, and I'm sure it's the same thing for Turkey. But yeah, the food that I ate, I loved it. It's actually somewhat similar to Mexican food, like instead of tortilla, it's bread. And there's no pork. I didn't see pork anywhere in. Oh, geez, can I mute my microphone while I yell at him? Just a minute. I have to mute it in the software. Just a second. Oh. Just a minute, man. I apologize. Just a minute. Let me. Okay, sorry about that. Oh yeah, and I love bread, but I started eating healthy, about 4 years ago, and I tried to not eat too much bread. But I'm on vacation. I'm not gonna watch my waist while I'm on vacation. Yeah, I think the only thing that I ate that didn't have bread or that wasn't bread based was uh kumpir. If anybody watched the video, that was the potatoes that are the size of Vince Neil's stomach, and they have about I showed this in the video. They have about I don't know 12, maybe 14, 15 different things you can put on the baked potato, as many as you want. It's all the same price. I had yogurt, I think um, pepperoni or salami or something like that. Pickles, jalapenos, I think onion, corn, maybe. That was really good, and that was the only thing that wasn't bread, but it was still starchy. But yeah, everything was good. It's just a lot of bread, but really good. Doner, durum, anything that's wrapped is called durum. So I guess doner is like a style of durum. I had a fish durum. Um, Iskander, and so it's all bread and kebabs. Iskander kebab was amazing. I love Adana kebab. Um, no, the Adana kebab was a durum. Well, I guess they call it Adana durum. What was the other kind of kebab that I had? Uh, can't remember, but yeah, all very, very good. Really good food. Yeah, and I see who's saying it. Yeah, Rat Rock says he's not a yogurt fan. Me neither. If anybody watched the first episode, when I got to Burju's house, she cooked or she had made this dish. This is the other thing that wasn't bread, was manta, which is like Turkish ravioli. It's little pieces of pasta like this with could be meat or whatever inside, and it's covered in yogurt. And I've always hated yogurt. Turns out that I love yogurt. It was very, very good. I liked it a lot. Um, oh yeah, Nocivo says, yeah, the first dish I had with yogurt I ended up liking. Yeah, I did. And I think I said when I went to that bar, the Mehane, we had a dish with yogurt and I loved it. It's incredible. It's with yogurt mixed with dill and mint. Very, very good. I recommend Rat Rock. Give yogurt another chance. I avoided it for the last 50 years, 40 years, not 50 years, 40 years. And it turns out that I love it, and it might become part of my diet in Mexico. Yogurt is excellent. Yeah, Def to Demand said I had a buzz going that one. Yeah, I did have a buzz going. That was pretty good. Yeah, we were drinking raki, which is, as I said in the video, like ouzo. And I kept the bottle of that. And I was gonna buy, that was the my second last night there. And I was going to buy a bottle to take home. Uh, but I don't know, just didn't for whatever reason. But I did keep the bottle that I drank. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. Um Yeah, Muslims don't eat. Just a minute. Let me turn my phone off or turn the sound off so I don't have disturbances. Yeah, Muslims don't eat pork. I didn't. There's like really no pork. I didn't see pork anywhere. Not in supermarkets. Not in restaurants. No sign of pork. Obviously. Am I planning to visit other Muslim countries? No, I'm not. I mean, the only country that I'm really planning on visiting is Thailand, and even that's not even a sure thing. I'm not avoiding Muslim countries, but I'm also not planning on. What else did I missing? Dallas Assassin is Guy bilingual. Yeah, he knows tone. He knows my angry tone and my friendly tone. Um, yeah, Deaf to Demand says, yeah, the food drew me into those visits. I think Mike Pratt. I know Mike Pratt is a very picky eater. He said, um, there's no reason to not like, as I said, that kind of, if you call it tourist food. It's really really good. I liked it a lot. What else? How was the alcohol? Well, as I said, this thing that I had that I drank, rakia, it's I don't know if it's the exact same thing as ouzo, with just a different name, or I don't know if there's some difference, but to me it was like ouzo. It was good. And it's like it's 45% alcohol too. I think between 45 and 50% alcohol, so it's very strong. I get typically people there, including Burju, ate you sorry, not ate, drink it with you mix it with water. You pour a shot into a glass and then you fill up with water, just like you would have, whiskey and or scotch and water or whatever. Um, I just drank it straight, and I was drinking beer with it. Um, I mean, that was all I drank. I drank that bottle of raku that night, and a couple of beers. No, that night I just had one beer. The beer comes in big half-liter bottles. There, I had a few beers on the trip, but not too much. Um, yeah, Dallas says, hold on, let me see. Mike says he's not a fan of. Oh my God, how can you not? How can you like Peter, Chris, and Sammy Hagar, but you don't like onions or peppers? Something wrong with this guy, Mike Pratt. Yeah, some of the food looked delicious. It was all delicious. Rad Rock says, did I say why we're not seeing each other anymore? Um, it's just too difficult. I mean, and expensive. I mean, we're still talking. As I mentioned, I talked to her today, and I'll talk to her tomorrow. But I really can't imagine that we're going to see each other in person uh, ever again. I mean, what else are we supposed to do? She came here and I went there. Um, I would love to, and I hope she would love to, but it's just it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of it's expensive. It's a lot of planning, and who knows? Where would it be? I went there. She came here. Do we go somewhere together? I don't know, but yeah, I don't think we'll be together in person ever again. Sadly, Dallas can't eat lamb or goat. Goat is pretty popular in Mexico. I never had it until I came to Mexico. I don't think ever in all my life, and no, not I don't think I for sure didn't see goat in all my life in Canada. Not in a store, not in a restaurant. It was never served at anybody's house. and I've had it a few times here. It's okay. I've eaten sheep here many times. It's actually pretty good. And oh, the other thing was lamajun. Lamajun was amazing. That was the thing in the video, if anybody remembers it, that it looks like kind of like pizza. It's like a flatbread, and they put on a mix of lamb and beef mixed with I think some onions and peppers or something, and then you roll it up and you eat it like a durum. Delicious. I had a couple of those. I had that on my was it the no, second to last night, and I think I was on my first night and my second to last night, I had La Majun. Loved it. Amazing. Um, Mike Pratt is saying Turkish delight. Kino is asking my thoughts on Jews. I don't have any thoughts on Jews. I don't like them or dislike them. They're people just like black people or gay people or Canadians or Americans or Mexicans. Don't have an opinion on Jews one way or the other. They're just people. Yeah, Turkish delight is excellent. I bought home 5 boxes, or I don't know what you call it, trays of Turkish delight. Kept 2 for myself. A friend of mine asked for one. I gave one to a woman who helps me kind of take care of the dogs. She brings food for them often. Um, I gave a Turkish delight to her. Um, Turkish delight is really, really good. Not that fake Turkish delight that Dallas likes in the Big Turk. This is real Turkish delight. The value of the peso coming down. No, I think it's actually getting stronger. I think they, I guess after the election, the Mexico elected a new president 3 weeks ago, maybe. I think it went down briefly, but no, I think the peso is doing very well, which is bad for me because I get paid in U.S. dollars, so that sucks for me. Kino says someone needs to move. You or her? No, I'm not moving to Turkey, and she's not moving to Mexico. I already moved to another country once. I'm not doing it again. Yeah, the guy with the ice cream. That ice cream, man, I couldn't stop laughing at that, and I knew that they did that. But yeah, that was very funny. And this guy and there are guys that are even much more involved than that guy was. But yeah, the ice cream thing was pretty funny. I watched them do it with other people too. It was funny every time. Did I eat all the bags of chips? Almost. I did eat the Pizza Hut Lays were excellent. I bought those in Greece. They were really, really good. The KFC Ruffles I also bought in Greece. They were. I think I like the Pizza Hut better. They were good. Those are both gone. Um, I ate the peanut Cheetos yesterday. They're okay. When Burju first told me about those, I thought, oh, I got to get those. Bring me some. She did bring me a bag when she came here in February, and they're a little bit disappointing. I would like a stronger flavor, but if I went to Turkey every year, I would buy them every year just because it's cool to have peanut Cheetos. Those are gone. Uh, the Thai chili or sweet chili Doritos are gone. The Turkish Doritos are gone. Taco Doritos are gone. I still have the bag of chicken teriyaki Cheetos, and I think one or two other things. But yeah, they're going down quickly. I still have quite a lot of Turkish delight left, and still have about half a bag of walnuts left, and the chickpeas that were covered in sugar. I still have about half of those left. Um, Kirk is asking, is inflation bad in Mexico right now? No, it's things are getting pretty expensive in Mexico. I don't know what the actual inflation rate is, but yeah, things are, at least anecdotally, things are more expensive. Including recently, I saw when I was in Turkey, I was kind of looking at the news, and the price of cilantro in Mexico went from like I don't know, like 20 pesos a kilo to like 500 pesos a kilo. Like, I don't know what the number was, but it's insanely expensive. Same with bananas. I bought bananas. I eat bananas every day, and I bought bananas a couple days before I left. And for months, they've been around 12 or 13 pesos a kilo. And now they were like 29. Um, so I don't know. Oh, you have KFC chips in Canada. I didn't know that. Um, yeah, Mexico has a female president. That's right. Claudia Scheinbaum. Um, Mexican Coke is the best. Yeah, Mexican Coke is definitely good. There is a very noticeable difference between Mexican Coke and regular Coke. Um, oh, Silk Ripper. He says, I've never seen the name. Thank you. He says, I've been a subscriber for years. Always curious what you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking. No, you may ask. Well, you did ask, and I will answer. I mentioned it earlier. and I don't expect that everybody to be here when I was talking about certain things. I'm an English teacher. I've lived here for 18 years. And I've been teaching English for 18 years. Um, Dallas says Mexico doesn't seem like much of a deal anymore. No, it's not as cheap as it used to be. I mean, it's obviously still and will always be cheaper than Canada and the US, but yeah, it's not the deal that it used to be. Some things are still my electricity, and I know this doesn't matter for people that are visiting. My electricity is like $3 or $4 US a month. Um, and the metro in Mexico City is like 30 cents or something. I mean, some things are still very, very cheap, but no, it's getting more expensive. Um, Dallas doesn't like cilantro. I love cilantro. Love it. Um, and Rat Rock too, man. Nobody likes cilantro. What is wrong with you guys? Who likes olives? Oh my fucking god, olives is just the most horrible thing that I have ever eaten in my life. Just the worst. Olives fucking suck. And Mike Pratt loves them. I think that now who is it that said they love olives? I can't remember. Oh, is Miguel. Where's Miguel? He's not here. Oh, is it Deaf to Demands? Yeah, a few people said that they love olives. I just thought those were so gross. Nosibo likes olives too. Yeah, Burju loves olives. Dallas loves olives. Yeah, when we had that Turkish breakfast the first morning, Burju had like a plate of olive pits. Her plate was full of olive pits. I know she eats them at home too. They're just. I mean, I can I don't like all food, but there's some food that I don't like, but I can handle it. Olives are just off my. There's no way I'll ever eat an olive again. Dill pickles. I love dill pickles. Big pickle fan. Yeah, Mike Pratt like olives. What is wrong with this guy? He hates onions and peppers, but he loves Peter Chris, Sammy Hagar, and olives. He's living in bizarro world. Black olives on Greek salad and pizza. Don't talk to Burju. Nobody's going to talk to Burju, but don't talk to Burju about Greek anything. Everybody, and I always thought that everything that I thought was Greek, it turns out that it's Turkish. Yogurt is Turkish. I learned that Burju told me the actual word yogurt is actually a Turkish word. And all the food, the kind of doner and things like that, that I, as a Canadian, I think Americans think this too. We think it's all it's all Greek. It's all Turkish. Yeah, Mike Pratt is an enigma or an enema, maybe. Uh, Kino says, what's it more expensive than in Michoacan? Oh, 3 or 4. Oh, electricity. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my apartment too. Um, oh, it's cheaper. Michoacan is cheaper. Hmm. All right. Um, yeah, she is proud. Oh my God. I've never seen anybody so proud of their food and so defensive about their food. I'm talking about Burju with Turkish food. Yeah, Mike heard my comment. Oh, and I tried the other another thing that I ate that was not bread or bread based, and it was just like a little snack just to try it. And it was in the video is something called medie, which is mussels, and they only sell them on the street. I saw them a lot of places, which is mussels with they put rice. The mussels are still in the shell, and they put some rice in there too, and they're very very cheap. I think each one was 10 lira, which I think is around 5 pesos, which is, I don't know, 30 cents US, some 25, 30 cents. Um, yeah, those were pretty good too. I think we were already kind of, we were hungry, but not full. It's not something I would eat to fill up, but it's good for just a little snack to try. I mean, you could eat 50 of them. Um, Now hold on. Nossi was asking what's Canadian food, and I see Kirk saying Yorkshire pudding. I hope that's not an answer to Canadian food. Yorkshire pudding comes from Yorkshire, England. Although we do eat Yorkshire pudding. I remember my mother always made Yorkshire pudding. Um, most European countries are very proud of their culture and food. Italians are for sure. Everybody knows, how Italians feel about pineapple on pizza and other things. I think it's a weird thing to be protective of. I think French people and their language too. Yeah, he says culture and food. Yeah, their language. Dallas says Burju opened up more as the videos went along, although there was one episode where it looked like she wanted to break your neck. There were a few times when she wanted to break my neck, believe me, for various reasons. Do you remember what that was? What that was about, Dallas? Oh, I remember. Yeah, that I remember. There was a we joked about that once. That was I think it was when I mentioned about something being. I made a joke about something being Greek instead of Turkish. I think it was something like that. And yeah, she is, not every I think also, and she speaks yeah, she, unlike me, she speaks English very well. Um, but she is conscious of it. Um, she's I guess how can I explain this? I mean, some people, and including me, when you speak a second language, you feel a little bit self-conscious about speaking it around people, especially, and then when you had a camera. So yeah, she's kind of quiet on video. She's not totally different in person, but yeah, she is definitely more quiet on video. Um, Hawaiian pizza. I like Hawaiian pizza. It's okay. Actually, no, I do like it. I used to hate it, but I like it now. I don't know if I would order pineapple on pizza, but I can eat it and enjoy it. Yeah, Dallas is right. I wouldn't say there's any kind of specific Canadian food either, except poutine, um, butter tarts. I mean, and these are not even meals. The smoked meat in Montreal and bagels, I guess, also in Montreal. I guess all the good food comes from Montreal or Quebec. Um, yeah, smoked meat sandwiches, and poutine. Pineapple on pizza is the best. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I do like it a lot. You know who? Speaking of pizza, and I don't know if I've probably never talked about this before, and I hate to say it. You know who has the best pizza? I really hate to say this. Costco pizza is fucking awesome. Costco pizza is incredible. I mean, it's not it's a supermarket or whatever. It's a big chain, but man, Costco pizza is tough to beat. Nosipo says in high school, yeah, order pizza after smoking up or smoking out. Yeah, Canadian bacon. I don't know what Canadian bacon is. I always saw this on US on American you know TV series and movies and things. They always order Canadian bacon. I don't really know what Canadian bacon is. Costco is greasy and gooey. It is greasy and it is gooey, I guess. But to me, I think it's greasy in a good way. Typically you think of greasy as kind of a negative thing, but I think it's greasy in a good way. I think that means that the cheese is good, and it is gooey. Gooey pizzas. That's a good quality, I think, in pizza. I don't mind Domino's. I mean, you can't say too much bad about pizza, any kind of pizza. I haven't had Domino's in years and years. I I I had Little Caesars. I think a few days before I went to Turkey, because there's a Little Caesars fairly close. But as far as fast food goes, or those big chains, Little Caesars is actually pretty good. If it's fresh, if Little Caesars is fresh, it's excellent. Um, Kirk's son works at the food court in Costco. Yeah, and you know what, man, Costco is really since the pandemic. Fuck Costco, and I still keep my membership, or actually I just use Lilia's membership whenever I need something, and I buy a lot of hummus there. Um, they cut their hours. They close now at 8:30 instead of 9 o'clock. And they used to have they had pepperoni pizza, Italian or supreme, whatever they call it, with pepperoni, sausage, peppers, onions, olives. They had that, and they had Hawaiian. Now they only have pepperoni. They got rid of the Hawaiian. They got rid of the Italian. Um, they got rid of chocolate ice cream. Who gets rid of chocolate ice cream? They only had vanilla and strawberry. Um, Yeah, yeah, and the lines are insanely long to get food at Costco, like unbelievably long. Yeah, Dallas says Mexican love Little Caesars. I remember I was texting with Dallas, I think once, and sending him videos. I was waiting in line at Little Caesars, and God, I waited forever to get a pizza at Little Caesars several months ago. Nocivos said he's had pizza in Mexico. One of the toppings is chorizo. Yeah, it's not the most common thing, but it's fairly common. Actually, yeah, no, I would say almost probably any place you can get chorizo on pizza. Um, Deaf to Demand says one day I can make her some of your chili. You know what? What she did have my chili. That's interesting that you say that. When she came here in February, I had just made chili a couple weeks before, and I specifically saved, uh, put a container in the freezer. She loved it. Yeah, she did. Um, yeah, Nasivo says Little Caesars isn't bad. I know it's popular to shit on fast food. Nobody's gonna say that they love McDonald's or Burger King or Pizza Hut or Domino's or Little Caesars, but I mean, I don't really eat that kind of food too much anyway, but I like it. I had chorizo today. I had chorizo and eggs. Made it here in my house. Costco. Kirk says Costco hot dogs are scrummy. What is scrummy? Is that good or bad? I love Costco hot dogs. I haven't had one for a while because you have to get a Pepsi with it, and I don't like drinking soda too much. But yeah, Costco hot dogs are. I always thought they were excellent, and they're beef for whatever that's worth. I don't really care if they're beef or not. Um, But yeah, Costco has excellent hot dogs. Actually, I had McDonald's at the airport when I came back to Mexico City the other day. I had McDonald's. Did I tell what happened at the airport? I think I did in my wrap up that I ordered the torta and the woman made it, and then I went to pay with my card and she didn't take cards and she kind of got mad at me. I think I told that story. Scrumptious and yummy morph together. Yeah, those are called portmanteaus. I hate those. Uh, yeah, they are. You're right. Kirk is right. Those are excellent. As far as hot dogs go, they're excellent. Um, Wiener Schnitzel number one for Nosivo. And also, I don't know if this is all Costco's, but the Costco here, it's always a mess too. They have the bar where you get the jalapenos and the onions and the ketchup and the mustard. It's always a disgusting mess. I didn't take any footage from the Paris airport. I think I did. Where was it that I had that? It was Paris when I guess not in the airport. I think the only video I took in Paris was showing the 27 or 28-minute ride that I had to take to go to another terminal. Um you know why I didn't do anything at Paris? I was in Paris, I think, for 4 hours, 4.5 hours. I was putting together my last video, I think. Um The Paris airport was no big deal. Montreal airport is not very good. Although I have to say the prices at the Montreal airport are quite reasonable. I bought what did I buy? I bought a few boxes of maple cookies. They were like $8, which I know it's expensive. It's not insanely expensive. Um, but the Montreal airport is very cramped. Everything is very small. The hallways are small. The corridors are small. All the walking areas are small. The waiting areas where you wait for the gates where you wait, everything is very small. Istanbul airport is incredible. The best airport I think I've ever seen in my life. Amazing. Love that airport. But stupidly expensive. A can of Pringles. If anybody wants to do the math here, I remember the price because Burju and I talked about it. A can of Pringles, a normal size can of Pringles at the Istanbul airport was 425 Turkish lira. If somebody wants to get on the Google machine and get back to me how much 425 Turkish lira is in either pesos or uh, Canadian dollars or US dollars, please get back to me. I think it's basically about half. I guess that's around 210 pesos, like $10 US, something like that. Um, Kirk says they keep Costco spotless. They used to. It's just been in recent years, I think, that you sometimes see it as a big mess. Um, does Lillian know about Burju? Yes. Nasivo, have I ever gone on airport duty free and snuck alcohol on plane? I've never bought anything in duty free ever, ever, not once. Um, just no. I never really understood duty free. Like Kramer says, it's the biggest sucker deal in retail. I showed the duty free shop in at the border between Turkey and Greece, and everything was the same price as you would see in stores, and especially in Mexico. I mean, alcohol in Mexico is quite cheap. Maybe for Canadians or Americans, the duty free is cheaper, and maybe for cigarettes, I don't know. But and that's another reason why smoking is so popular in Turkey. Is cigarettes are dirt cheap. They're like $2 US a pack. That's why everybody smokes, I guess, or one of the reasons why everybody smokes. Very cheap. Yeah, tax free. But I mean, like for me, it's so cheap to begin with. I just don't see the point of duty free. Did anybody check out what 425 Turkish lira is for a can of Pringles? And I'm not guessing. I know for a fact it was 425 Turkish lira for a regular size can of Pringles. Anybody there? Hello, hello. I have to tell you, I don't have these moments of silence with when I talk to Burju, but I'm having it with you people. Come on. Oh, 13 bucks US for a can of Pringles. Yeah. And again, that's not an estimate. That's how much it was. 425 Turkish lira. 13 bucks. That's insane. That's stupid. A can of Pringles, because I love Pringles. I saw them at the Montreal airport. They were 7 Canadian, which is about 5 US, which is, a little bit expensive, but it's not crazy. 13 bucks US. Stupid. Who's spending $13 on Pringles? Kino is asking how expensive the flight was. Um in in Canadian dollars, because I remember I paid for it in Canadian dollars, or I mean it was charged to my credit card in Canadian dollars. It was expensive. It was, am I right to say it was like 1,935 Canadian dollars? Um Yeah, it was expensive. My original plan was to go at the end of May because Scorpions were playing there. And when I first talked to Burju about me going there, or when we first talked about me going there, because I can go whenever I want because I can take time off work whenever I want. I thought, okay, well, when's the best time to go? And then I saw Scorpions playing there in late May. They were playing 2 shows there. I thought, oh, perfect. The weather's starting to get good there then. But she couldn't do it because she would have had to work. And so, by the way, the week that I went, the reason I went during that week was because it was I can't remember if it was Eid or Al Hajj. It was like a Muslim holiday uh in Turkey, and everybody's off that week. That's why I went that week. And it was much more expensive. I think it was like I paid a lot more for my ticket than I would have if I'd gone in May. $300, $400 difference, big difference. Because by the time I went, it was summer, and I guess everything um, went up a lot. Yeah, so I paid a lot more for my ticket to go a few weeks later. Is Turkey experiencing inflation? Horrible inflation. Horrible, horrible. I don't know if I mentioned it in one of the videos, but a lot of we saw I noticed quite a few places in Istanbul. They didn't have prices like on the menu, or stores or shops didn't have prices. And Burju said that that's because the prices go up so much and so quickly that some places just don't put prices um, because they're changing so quickly. Yeah. When I first started talking to Burju, or shortly after that, the conversion rate was pretty simple. Whatever the price of something was in Mexican pesos, it was that much plus 50% in Turkish lira. So 100 Mexican was 150 Turkish lira. Now it's double. 100 pesos is 200 lira. So yeah, inflation is really bad. Well, inflation and their Turkish lira is becoming quite devalued. Um, is she religious? No, zero. And I should say, I didn't mention this earlier. that was another thing that I liked about her, that was very attractive about her, that she wasn't I said she had a tattoo and she was just different for a Turkish person. She also, not only is she not religious, I won't say too much. She's when I asked her if she was religious, she kind of like snickered or laughed. No, she's not religious at all. Nope. Uh, Inflation in Greece. I remember Greece had horrible inflation. Was it a year or two ago? Like there were like riots and there was, I don't know, like a coup attempt or something. I don't know about Greece because the only thing I bought in Greece was a couple of bags of chips and I don't know because everything was basically included. I think so. I didn't go to in any stores or anything, so I can't say anything about the price of anything in Greece. Prices of anything in Greece. And something else I'll say about Istanbul is how fucking huge it is. Now, this is maybe also because Burcu lives, um, and it doesn't really have. Burcu pointed this out to me. She told me this a long time ago, and it's true. It doesn't really have like a downtown or like a central area, like most, or I guess all big cities. Like everywhere I went in those videos, all those neighborhoods, um, I didn't go to a central area where there's big skyscrapers and malls and stores and everything. Um, so to get anywhere, it took a long time. And going to all of these neighborhoods in Istanbul, when she was here, we took day trips. One day we stayed here at my house, and one day we go to Tepoztlan, another day to Tasco, and you drive an hour or an hour and a half, or maybe less than an hour, and you're in Tasco, or you're in Tepoztlan, or you're at the volcanoes, or you're at Agua Salada. And all of these things that we did in Istanbul, we never left Istanbul, but they felt like day trips. Like we I guess the shortest trip we took was maybe over an hour. So maybe some places we took a couple of hours to get to. Um, and each neighborhood in Istanbul felt like a day trip to another town. Yeah. Uh, Rat Rock said, "Yeah, Dan the Chip Whisperer." Ha. When I did my last video, I loved your cat walking around your apartment around you. What last video? The one when I got back from Turkey, when I where I do the I want to talk about this album. Are you talking about that, Rat Rock? Kino says, any idea why religion is suddenly bad more? I don't know. I think religion has always been bad for me. Did I hang out with any of her friends? Yeah, briefly. There was one day, I can't remember what day it was, when we did meet up with one of her friends. Yes. Yep. He was at a coffee shop with one of his friends, and we went, and I've known about this guy. She's told me about this guy for as long as I've known her. They're good friends, I guess. And so yeah, I did meet him. A very nice guy. Oh, when I got back, I don't even remember her. Well, yeah, she would have walked around me, my cat, because she was probably happy to see me. Did the dog have broken legs? Did what dog have broken legs? The street dogs? Dallas is asking about a dog with broken legs, but I'm not sure what dog he's referring to. I didn't say, I don't know if they're, I don't know if any dog had broken legs. Burju's dog. No, why would Burju's dog have broken legs? Oh, and I'll add something about Burju's dog. Burju's dog is she only got her because it was in the carriage. No, no, nothing to do with that. I'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah. A couple of things about her dog. Her dog's name is Phoebe. She only got her in I think it was around the middle of March. She was here. She went home from Mexico on March 2nd or 3rd or something. I think it was about 2 weeks after that that she got her dog. I remember it very well. I was at El Chopo that day, and we were texting, and she said, "I got a dog." Um, and she kind of got the dog all the time that I've known her. She told me she loves dogs and cats, and she really wanted a dog. And I think she was not I think, she told me this was true. She was partially inspired by Guy and Mamere, by my dogs. She really, really loved being here and seeing my dogs, and, that was, I don't know how much of an influence that had on her getting a dog. I think she was gonna get a dog anyway because she loves them. But yeah, her and she was very good and played a lot with Guy and Mamere. Guy, Mamere doesn't really play much. Yeah, so she got, it was a rescue dog, and she got that. But no broken legs. She's really, really, um, an overzealous. What's the word? Not overzealous. That sounds bad. She is a very good dog mother, and she spoils her dog. No, she has a stroller just because she likes taking her dog with her, and sometimes it's too much for her to walk, so she has a stroller for her. Yeah, but no, the dog didn't have broken legs or any other problem. And also, yeah, that, she went with us the last 2 days that we were there because we were gonna be out for a long, long time, and she said, it'd be too much walking for her, and also, we had to kind of rush home, not rush, yeah, rush home sometimes, when we were out earlier in the week to get home because she had to walk the dog. So this taking the dog with us prevented us or saved us from having to rush home, and also save the dog from walking because we walked a lot, and it would have been too much for her to walk a lot. Guy wouldn't be caught in a stroller. Guy wouldn't fit in a stroller. And yeah, I think yeah, he's got too much energy to be in a stroller. If there were a stroller big enough for him, he wouldn't do well in a stroller. Mike has to leave. Thank you, Mike. Mike, I always appreciate your everything, your viewership and your participation, and especially your comments. Thank you, Mike. Have a good night. We'll talk again. Def says, bet you guys stayed in the B room. What is, oh, in the bathroom? Now what is B room? Is that bedroom, bathroom? And now I guess he says because of all that food. I guess he's talking about the bathroom. Bathroom. Um, no, you know what? The opposite. I had a difficult time in Turkey. I was quite irregular. Nocivo is going to get Little Caesars. Provecho. Um, no, I was texting. Maybe that's why Dallas. Thank you, Nocivo. Thanks. We'll do it again sometime. Thanks for coming. Um, yeah, I was texting Dallas about this. I won't get into the details uh, about what we were texting about. But I guess when you travel in general, you're on a different, especially if you're in a different time zone, maybe your body is all, you know, confused, and when you're eating different foods. And I was quite irregular in Turkey. Also, I didn't eat any fruits or vegetables, and I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables in my daily life, and I didn't in Turkey, and I ate a lot of bread. So, you can probably figure out what I'm talking about. But yeah, I was a little bit backed up at some points. I felt like I had a big boulder in my stomach a couple of days. Yeah, I felt very heavy. Too much bread. Yeah, Dallas said the same thing. I think everybody has a hard time when you travel. Yeah, I mean, even if you're probably in the same time zone, maybe even in the same country, probably if you're traveling, you're probably eating different. You're on a different schedule, and yeah, it can be kind of unpleasant. And you know what? I never did. And this is the same in Vietnam. I never had to use a public bathroom. I'm very good with that. I'm my body knows uh, kind of how to control itself. Didn't use. I mean, peed, but I never had to sit down on a toilet in public, either in Vietnam or Turkey, which is very good. What else? Who's still here? Let's do a check. Dallas, Rat Rock, Deaf to Demands. Who else is still here? I hope you do go to Vietnam. I talked about this before. I don't recommend places. I think just because I like something doesn't mean that somebody else should like it. But so I can't recommend Vietnam. But Dallas, I loved it, man. I had such a good time on that trip. Oh, Kirk is still here. Good. Yeah, Vietnam was excellent and cheap, which is a huge factor for me. That was just such a great time I had in Vietnam. I don't. Does yogurt do that to you? I guess right, because is yogurt dairy? I mean, there's no. Is yogurt? Yeah, there's no cream. There's no milk. Um, no, yogurt didn't do that to me. And maybe I didn't eat that much. I ate yogurt that first night when we had the manta, that Turkish ravioli that's covered in yogurt. I had it with the Iskandar kebab, and I had it at the mehane, and I maybe had a little bit of it in some other places. Yogurt keeps you regular. Okay. Uh, Dallas wants to go to Korea. I don't have any interest in going to Korea. It's kind of like it's like Turkey. It's not that I don't want to. It just was never appealing to me. Rat Rock's dream trip is Japan. Dallas. I don't think this is a secret. I think I can say this. Dallas just bought a plane ticket to Japan in I think October. Yeah, Japan, probably Tokyo for me too. Tokyo is maybe my number one. Too expensive for me though. Um, yeah, Japan will be cool. I think especially Tokyo. Dallas says the yogurt drink creeps him out. That was Iran. Iran, I think, is the not. I think I know what it's called. Iran. Yeah, it's salty yogurt drink. Yeah, just about the worst thing I could have imagined. I tried it 3 times. Or you had it 3 times when we were together, and I tried it each time. And yeah, I think if I lived there, or if I tried it a few more times, I maybe could have come around to it. I don't think I almost ordered it once because I thought I should have a whole, full um, glass of it once, but it was exactly like what I thought it was, which is gross. But on the other hand, I also handled it okay, if that makes sense. You know what? I'll tell a little story. The Turkish breakfast that we had that first day, and I don't know if anybody knows this. I didn't know this until I don't know some time ago. Turkish breakfast is very popular in Turkey, and it's actually called Turkish breakfast. It's not like you have this for breakfast and that's Turkish breakfast. It's not a dish called Turkish breakfast, but it's like an event. And I showed it the first I was there, the first morning when I woke up. We went out for Turkish breakfast, and it was I think about 4 or 5 different kinds of cheese, about 3, maybe 4 kinds of bread, 2 kinds of eggs. One was fried eggs. One was called menemen, yeah, which is like scrambled eggs mixed with tomato and onion, olives, and what else? So we went there, and it was cool. I mean, the Turkish breakfast. It was a really nice restaurant. It was cool. It was right beside the sea. We were looking at the sea, or the Bosphorus, which is the strait that connects the Black Sea and the Marmara Sea. And that was my first experience in Turkey. And when the bill came, Burju said, "I'm going to pay for it." And we've talked about this before. I hate this argument, like I'll pay. No, no, I insist I'll pay. No, 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 you paid last time. If somebody offers to pay, thank you. And if you want to pay, thank you. So she offered to pay, and I didn't know how much it was. And I can't remember how this came up. Maybe it was later in the day. She because her friend, the guy that I met earlier, somebody asked me if I hung out with any of her friends, and it was her friend that I met who had recommended that we go to this restaurant. And I can't remember how this came up, but she said, "I'm gonna have to talk to my friend about his recommendation for that restaurant." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because of the price." And I said, "How much was it?" And she said it was very expensive. Like she said she was shocked when they brought the bill. And I felt so bad. Like I thought, "Oh man, like um and I said, "How much is it?" And she said, "How much do you think?" So I guess in my mind, thinking of it in pesos, I think like it would have been 200 pesos, like $10. But then she said it was very expensive. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's like 300 pesos, $15. Um, and then when we saw her friend, and she didn't tell me how much it was. Then when we saw her friend days later, she said, she said to him, "Oh, I have a problem with you with your restaurant recommendation." And yeah, she told me that it was 1,800 lira, which is 900 lira per person, which is 450 pesos. I would never spend 450 pesos on any food. That's insane. Like that's almost double of what like I would think is pretty expensive. That 400, and you have to remember if you like that's what 450, that's about 22, $23 US, and I'm sure Rat Rock and Dallas say, "Oh, well, that's not so much." But yeah, you have to remember in Turkey and Mexico, the cost of living is much lower, salaries are lower, and that's an insane price to pay for bread, cheese, and olives and tea, um, and a couple of eggs. And I was very, very kind of embarrassed. I felt really, really bad that she paid that much. And to be honest, that was, I mean, this sounds bad. That was my least favorite meal, at least in terms of the food. The actual meal, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because it was my first meal in Turkey, and I was with Burju, and it was by the sea. So the actual experience was excellent. But if you're talking about just the food, if you could isolate the food and you know all things being equal, it was bread, cheese, and olives and tea, and that was it. I liked everything else much better in terms of just the food. Um, Death to the Man says you're saying that $22 is not expensive, Death? Yeah, I guess not. I mean, you that's probably what you would pay in the United States or Canada for something like that. But again, that's it's expensive. Yeah, yeah, big difference between cultures, obviously, and prices. Um, yeah, like I mean, to put it into perspective, I mean, I don't really know the price of anything because all I bought really was food and shoes and a couple of T-shirts. But no, Turkey is definitely cheaper than United States or Canada. Yeah, that was an expensive breakfast. I wouldn't have paid that much. Rat Rock says, "Did I make it up to her?" Well, I hope so. I mean, she paid for a lot of things. I paid for a lot of things. She paid for more than things than I did for sure, and I am very, very, very thankful and grateful. Um, but yeah, I guess yeah, $22. Yeah, I guess for Americans, it's not even Arby's. Yeah, I guess how much would you spend at McDonald's or when I went to Arizona a couple years ago, I went to Chipotle a couple of times, and yeah, Chipotle is 12 or $13 just for fast food. So yeah, I guess 22 bucks to go to a nice restaurant like this is, I don't know. I guess it's okay for you guys anyway, for you rich Americans and Canadians. Lisa had McDonald's, $15 for one meal. Yeah, yeah, amazing how much fast food is, or just amazing how expensive Canada is, or the US, or whatever. Funny that Rat Rock mentioned Arby's. Feels like an Arby's night. Anybody know what that is? Feels like an Arby's night. Rat Rock knows it. Putty, David Putty. They got the meats. That's what's his name? Bing Rames. He's been the voice of Arby for years. No, I feel like he was doing the Arby's commercials even when I was living in Canada still. At least 10 years. Yeah, yeah, maybe more than 2 years. More than 10 years. I think I went to Arby's twice in my life when I lived in Canada. Arby's was not that popular. Yeah, John Bush did Burger King. Yeah, I remember that. He said he made a lot of money from that. I think he said he made more from those Burger King commercials he did than he did in his whole career with Armored Saint. I think he said something like that. It's not real meat. Ah, there's Ernesto. Now hold on. I'm missing. Why am I Backstreet Dam? What does that mean? I feel like I'm missing a reference. About John Bush, he did a bunch of Burger King voiceovers. That's it. 10 years ago, maybe. I can't remember when. Yeah, he was the voice of Burger King. Uh, Ernesto, what a long trip back. Yeah, it was. It was. And I think I didn't mention this in the video. Well, I did mention that it was 36 hours from the time I left Burju's house to the time I got to my house. It was 36 hours, like 36 hours and 15 minutes or something. Um, but I think what I didn't mention was by the time I went to bed, I got home at like 5:30 in the morning. Oh, welcome back. Okay, thank you. Okay, it was like an autocorrect. Okay. Yeah, by the time I got home Tuesday at like 5:30, Monday or Tuesday at 5:30 in the morning. And I stayed up until I think I went to bed around 10 o'clock that night. By the time I went to bed, I'd been awake for 71 hours. Um, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think I mentioned it when I did the Kiss Smashes Thrashes Hits video. I didn't have any jet lag. Once I woke up after my first sleep back here, after being awake for 71 hours, um, I was never tired. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't have any problems in Turkey, and I didn't have any problems when I got back. Excellent. I beat jet lag. 18 hours back from Dubai. That's not a direct flight, right? You must have had a connecting flight somewhere in Dubai. Maybe it's somewhere in Germany. Yeah, and also my I don't think I've experienced this before, but my ankles were really swollen too. I guess that was a combination of the altitude from the plane, although I've been on planes many times and never had it. And I guess also just not being horizontal for 71 hours. I was sitting the whole time. And yeah, my ankles were swollen for about 2 days. I think it was about the third day back that my ankles were back to normal. I had Vince Neil ankles. I assume he has fat ankles because everything else is fat. How long did you sleep when you got back? Not that long, just a normal. Lisa's asking. I went to bed. I think it was around 10 or 10:30. This was after being awake for 71 hours, and I woke up at. I think I woke up around. Did I work the next day? No, I didn't. I can't. No, I think I did work the next day. I woke up at 5:40 in the morning. Yeah, I worked at 6 o'clock. Yeah, so I guess I slept. Yeah, less than 8 hours. Yeah, I wanted to get back to my normal schedule as soon as possible. So yeah, I went to bed at 10 or 10:30, woke up at 5:40, something like that. All right, Rat Rock is leaving. Thank you, as always, for coming to these live streams, Rat Rock, and have a good night in New Jersey, and we'll talk again, I hope. 11 hours to Tokyo. Yeah, it's a long time. That was my flight to Frankfurt was 11 hours. Yeah. My flight to Tokyo was like 13 or 14 from that was from Houston to Tokyo. Ernesto says he liked the record store in Turkey. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. That was a very cool store. They had a lot of really, really good stuff. Yeah, and very good prices, much better than the, you know, the prices I see. You know what? I think I've talked about this before, and maybe you know this. Ernesto, you live in Mexico City, right? I'm sure you do. Ernesto lives in Mexico City, yes. And I think I've mentioned before, and maybe you've commented so that you know this Aquarius Records. Yeah, you know Aquarius Discos Aquarius, and it's in Roma. I don't know if it's Roma Norte. Um, Anyway, there's nothing in that store. I mean, realistically, there's nothing in Discos Acuarios in Mexico City. It's less than 800 pesos. A lot of things are over 1,000. 1,200, 1,500 pesos. At this record store in Turkey, I think new records there was nothing more than like 600. So in Mexico, nothing less than 800. At this store in Turkey, nothing over 600. Most are around the 400 peso range for new records. Used records were 2 to 300 pesos. Yeah, pretty good and quite a good selection. Um, what was I going to say? You know what I just found out tonight? And our phones really do listen to us because since I've been back, I'm getting all kinds of ads on social media for like things to help you with long flights and things like this. And anyway, I saw a story just a few hours ago, just I think just about an hour before I started this live stream. Um, there's a new trend. Like, well, it's not a new trend. I guess it's been around forever, but it's been given a name. Does anybody know what raw dog is? I don't mean raw dog what you think, but as it relates to flying on planes. Anybody heard of raw dogging? And it's not probably not what you think it is. And apparently men do it. Actually, I have it open in another tab. It says, just a minute. People, it's one of these, you know, exaggerated headlines. It says people are shocked by a new trend of men raw dogging flights, and it sounds very salacious or something. And and what it is, and apparently it's just men. It's men who on long flights they don't listen to music, they don't watch any movies or TV shows, they don't sleep. They don't read. They just watch the flight map, and basically that's what I do. I think I talked about this, and it's like this. It's a Dallas says it might be fake. It's kind of a bullshit thing. No, but apparently there are. I did see some of these TikTok videos, fucking retarded. That these guys they're like proud of it, like saying, "Yeah, here I am," and they take videos of themselves raw dogging, and which is just looking at the plane. I've done that for years and years. It's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I would take a video of. And these guys, I guess, are very competitive. I guess it's like an alpha male thing. Yeah, I had a 7 hour flight and I did. Oh yeah, well I had a 12 hour flight. But I spend way, way, way more time either looking at the screen and the flight map or looking out the window than I do watching TV. Uh, Not much to see on my flight there. It was almost entirely at night, so there was nothing to see. But on the way back, yeah, I spent a lot of time looking out the window. I talked about that when I went to Vietnam too. Yeah, I love that map. Some of them it's not the map itself. I guess it's I like seeing the flight information. The how many kilometers you've traveled, how many kilometers to your destination, the altitude, the ground speed, things like that. I think it's interesting, even though it doesn't change much. I like that map. I guess women don't like it as much. All right, I think Ernesto is setting up for a question. I did watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think I mentioned that in one of the videos. I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm on the plane. Tried to watch Friends on Turkish Airlines, but there was no sound. I don't know why. I don't know what the problem was. Um, Sometimes Google Maps works without signal on boards. Ah, you know what? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know why sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I remember I flew to Cancun a couple of years ago and watched the whole flight. Yeah, I forgot about this. I watched it more on Google Maps than on the flight map because Google Maps is much, much, much more accurate. And I talked about that in the video when I was going from Frankfurt to Istanbul. I said, okay, we just crossed the border from Germany to Austria, and then from Austria to Bosnia, whatever. And I knew that from Google Maps. And I think, and then other times it didn't work. And I think the reason why is if you put it in airplane mode, if you put your phone in airplane mode, Google Maps won't work. But if you just turn off your Wi-Fi, and I don't know what the difference is, I hope I don't make a plane crash one day. Um, I think I think if you just turn your Wi-Fi off, Google Maps seems to work. Although it didn't work when I was coming back, I think on the last leg from no, it was on one of the ones on the way back. Google Maps didn't work, but I really like Death. Thank you again for all your contributions and your comments and everything. Thank you very much. Have a good night. We'll talk again. Um, yeah, there was one. I took 5 flights on this trip, and there was one that I can't remember which is which, but there was one where Google Maps wasn't working. I think it was from Paris to Montreal. I don't know why. But yeah, Google Maps is awesome and quite accurate, I think, if it works. I was gonna raw dog Matthew Perry on the flight. Yeah. Who's here? Head count. Dallas, Ernesto. Is Kirk still here? Kirk didn't say goodbye yet, did he? I think he's still there. Who else? It says there's 7. Oh, 6. One just left. Dinner kebab. You mean doner kebab? Doner kebab. I had doner 3 times, I think. 2 of them were okay. One of them was amazing. I don't know what the difference was. Um, but yeah, doner is excellent. Yep. I had chicken each time. And they have let me show you. Ernesto will appreciate this, and maybe Dallas too, or anybody who's been to Mexico will maybe appreciate this. Dallas probably saw this on my Instagram. I posted it. Um, Let me show here. Just a minute. Yeah, look at this. Trompos. This is beef and chicken. No pork there. Um, Ernesto is getting corrected. Let's see. Blue Flyer. What was he say? In 1986, I got a 72 Mustang, had it raced out Cleveland. Okay. Lamb, yeah, Lamb. No, these weren't. Yeah, Lamb is, I guess, fairly popular. Though I think a lot of people don't like it. Some things, if they have lamb, the lamb is mixed with beef. I guess just so the taste is not as strong. I did have lamb twice. Lamb mixed with beef. I'd never had lamb before. Or you're right. No, you know what? Maybe that trompo that I just showed Ernesto, maybe it was already a mix of lamb and beef. I think you're right. It definitely wasn't lamb, but I think it was a mix of lamb and beef. That I know Tacos al Pastor came from well, I think it came like I mean generally from maybe like Lebanon or Middle East. I don't know if it was Turkey specifically, was it? The Tacos al Pastor? Yeah, actually a lot of the food as I talked about this earlier, it was kind of similar to Mexican food in that, but instead of tortillas, they use bread, and they use I don't know. They use lemons where we use limes in Mexico. They use the yellow lemons. Um, yeah, yeah, some similarities for sure. Yeah, pita. Yeah, I had Iskandar kebab, which was on pita bread, and I think the doner was also on pita. I can't remember. It's hard to remember all the different kinds of bread. Oh, tantuni. I had tantuni. My second to last, no, last day there, I had three tantuni, and it's basically I think I talked about this in the video. It's basically like a Turkish burrito, tantuni. Kirk is leaving. Thank you, Kirk. As always, a longtime supporter of Dan Bowski. Have a good night, Kirk. Yeah, very tasty. They cook that in actually it looks just like almost like a comal. What do you call those things there, Nesto? It's like a comal, but then the middle of it is a little bit deeper. You see these on like the street food, like where they cook like the carnitas and things like that, where the middle of it is like a bowl. They cook the tantuni in that, or they cook the meat for the tantuni in that, and it was and then they mix it with they cook it with a mix of water and vinegar, and I guess some spices. Very very good. All right, Dallas is leaving too. Oh yeah, his little vacation's over. Thank you, Dallas. As always, we will text probably tomorrow. We text kind of regularly. See you, Dallas. Yeah, very good. Everything was good. I wasn't there were a couple things that were okay, but I didn't hate anything except olives, which doesn't count because that's I mean, I'm at least in terms of meals. Who's still there? Only three left. Ernesto, you came at a bad time. Everybody's leaving now. Why didn't I go to Athens? Because it's fucking far. I went to Thessaloniki, which was I mean, I guess if you went there directly, there were a lot of stops. I guess if you drove if we'd taken a bus directly from from Istanbul to where I went in Greece, it probably would have been 7 hours. To Athens would be double that, maybe more. Let me check the driving time. I'll put this in Google Maps as driving directions just in a car. Let me see from Istanbul to Athens. Yeah, Athens is really far. Just a minute. All right. So according to Google Maps, to drive, yeah, this is by car, so it's even longer by bus. 12 hours it would take to drive. 11 hours 45 minutes from Istanbul to Athens. So way too far. Where we went, that was far enough as it was. Yeah, it looks close, but it's farther than it looks. You basically make a big circle. You kind of start here and you go around like that. But yeah, Athens would have been a cool place. Should we wrap it up? There's only 3 people here. Ernesto chased everybody away, I think. Who's here? Who's here? There's Ernesto and 2 others. Show yourselves. Identify yourselves, please. There's 4 now. I wonder if that was Burju that just came as the 4th one. I just said that 3 people came, and as I said that a 4th person came. I wonder if that was Burju. Now there's 5. Is Burju here? I don't know why I can't see who's here. I can only see who's here if they comment. Oh, Blue Flyer is here still. Do I have a car? Kind of. I kind of. Oh, see, I knew it. I knew Burju was here. I know her schedule. Everybody missed Burju, or Burju missed everybody. Burju and I have a very rigid schedule, and I know that this is the time when we usually text, starting at 9:40 my time. So when I saw and hello Burju, hello, we've been talking about you. I just saw the extra person come, and I figured it was you. Good morning, Burju. Everybody's going to be upset that they miss you. Burju, you can hear me, I guess. Everybody was trying to guess how to spell your name, and nobody got it right. We had, I think we saw Burju like this. I think. What else was another one? Yeah. Anyway, nobody could get your name right. I had to give them a Turkish lesson. Yeah, Burju. Yeah, somebody else wrote that also with a Y. I think that was who was it? Somebody from Mexico wrote it with a Y. Yeah, because the J. Oh, somebody also said. I think it was Dallas. Thought it was like this. Who's here? Ernesto, Burju, Blue Flyer. There's one other. It says there's 4. Maybe that includes me. Maybe I don't know if I'm included in the count, but there are 4 people now. We were up to 16, and we're down to 4. Yeah, maybe we should wrap it up since it seems the party seems to be dying. All right, so for everybody here, which I guess is Ernesto, Burju, Blue Flyer, and I don't know if it's me or somebody else. That's all. Anything else, everybody? Yeah, you missed a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of discussion about you, Burju. I'll tell you about that later. Yeah, you're the center of attention. I know you love that. There's a lot of turkey discussion and a lot of discussion about our my trip and our time together. All right, yeah, I'll end it now and say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for whoever's here, Blue Flyer, Ernesto, Burju, and I never know how to end things, end videos. I never know what to say. Okay. I'm signing off now. Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you, Blue Flyer. And we'll do this again. I don't know. I do these every 6 months or so whenever I have some kind of motivation. Okay. That's all for everybody. Thank you, everybody who came. Bye bye. See you, Blue Flyer.